Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TubCast. We're here. It's working. It's all running. The ad button works. I'll press it right now. Boop. And an ad
Ah,
just ran. Ha ha. Jesus.
jeez,
Yep.
you're still dying.
How about you? How are you feeling?
I am pretty well.
That's good. All the sickness is over.
For the most part, if there's anything in my throat, then there's something in my throat, but hopefully there won't be too
Yeah.
much.
I got myself some coffee. Right? Did you get? I mean, it's 9 a.m. for you. It's pretty early.
Uh-huh,
You have
up and
coffee?
early. I do not have any coffee. In fact, I've gone, at this point, months without any caffeine whatsoever. I've
Really?
completely cut out, one of my favorite things in the world, energy drinks,
Oh,
from my
Jesus.
life, as well as several other things, which is
What was that ding?
rather sad. Just a text.
Oh, it's very loud.
Yeah, I
Ding.
muted it. Ding. I
Okay.
always forget to mute my phone right before stream.
Mm. Someone in the chat is like, Dev, when are you launching a coffee brand? I'm not Jeremy, okay? It's kind of funny,
If you were
like,
to launch a brand, what would it be?
I don't know. Well, the thing is like, okay, God, I want to measure my words carefully here to make sure I say the correct thing. So Jeremy, from what I understand, the quartering, his coffee brand, it's not like his company. He partnered with a coffee company to put his label on their coffee, and that's what he does. So like a lot of YouTubers used to do this a few years ago with like gamer chairs, right? Every YouTuber
Mm-hmm.
was selling a gamer chair,
I
but it was
remember
the
the PewDiePie gamer chair.
yeah, it was the exact same chair for each of them, just with a different logo on it. It's not like these guys opened their own business and had their own supply chain or anything, you know.
Not
So
that
the
there's anything wrong with that.
oh, of course not. Of course not. You know, basically what you're doing is you're adding your name to a product. So now your reputation is staked on the product, so it better be good. And in return, they can charge a little bit more. You know. So I don't know if I would do I don't know if I would do like a coffee brand coffee type thing that Jeremy's doing. I mean, good for him. Always good to expand. But I've always just felt a bit more like if I can do something myself, I will. You know. And I also
Absolutely.
also I'm not big enough to warrant any of that shit. I don't think. Like,
Ah,
thank.
you should start selling merches and shit.
I mean, I've thought about merch. I really have thought about merch, but I just don't know if there's that much of a demand for it.
You'd be surprised. But hey,
I mean, maybe. Here, I put a poll in the chat. Poll. How many of you would wear a Dev is fat shirt? Yes. No. Let's go. Oh yeah, PewDiePie stuff now, I think PewDiePie actually like opened up his own production at this point after going through that a few years ago. Because now he has like a warehouse in Vancouver making shirts and like other merch for him.
somebody suggested Dev beanbag chairs. That's actually a good idea. You do sit on a beanbag chair in some of your
Yeah, the
art.
older videos, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd buy
just
SFO merch if I had money.
lazing around.
Just a giant like Dev. You can just lie on it. Oh god, you know that giant Snorlax beanbag chair? It'll be like that. A fat Dev plush. The funny thing is that at this point, I've been slowly but steadily losing weight to the point that like a lot of the artwork is no longer accurate. I'm still like a fat guy. That's not pretend, but a lot of it, like I'm now thinner than a lot of my artwork, which is quite nice.
Awesome. Keep it up. Soon
Yeah.
we'll have a fit Giga Chad Dev.
Mm. Oh man, coffee's good. Mm. It warms the soul, drinking it. Oh hey, Arena Thorn. So Arena Thorn,
Tempting me with the devil's
the de-
energy.
the devil's juice. So
The devil's bean juice.
those of you,
That coffee is actually not bad for you, from what I've heard. As long as
it's
you
not.
don't drink too much.
Yeah. Can I cover the H3 Abbott and Preach feud? I mean, I could, but I don't know what I'd really add to it, you know? H3 just seems to be like a fucking ridiculous declining podcast at this point. And I don't know too much about Abbott and Preach. They seem like nice guys, though. Dev was never fat by American standards. So, here's the thing. I noticed a few names in the chat earlier that were in my Discord last night doing the movie night with me. So just as a quick reminder, if you give $5 in the Patreon or the subscribe star or the memberships button or the Twitch sub button, you get into the $5 club in my Discord where we can where we do movie nights. I try to do it once a week. We watched the absolutely abysmal fucking movie Jurassic World last night. That was garbage. I don't know why the fuck everyone wanted that. But
But it has the man in it.
It has Mario in it.
Yeah.
It's a me.
It's a me, Mario. I did a horrible impression, no doubt. Have you seen that clip? It's just Chris Pratt saying that in his regular voice.
It's a me, Mario. Lilith should be a VTuber. Oh, maybe. I would buy an SFO April Fool's VTuber shirt. What was that again? That was the short, flat otaku. We had like I was replaced by a lolly for a day. That was a fun time. Bob Hoskins will always be Mario. R.I.P. Listen, guys, Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins or Lou Albano? Who was the better Mario?
Mario is Mario.
Okay. So, we could dick around for the next half an hour and chat about whatever. Or we could talk about
something that's important.
It's kind of important, I guess, yeah. Iran's ongoing protests. I have a long memory, and I remember them protesting this shit 15 years ago. So, at some point, you guys got to figure out the protesting doesn't necessarily work. But, nonetheless, I understand that things are shit over there.
There's been lots of protests in the past, but this one is a pretty big one.
Yeah. Hold on. Lilith would work with Pipkin Pippa as red-pilled YouTubers. Lilith's not too red-pilled anymore. All the red pill has left your system at this point.
Hey, fuck you.
You need to you need to re-up your dose.
I'm liberty pilled.
Liberty pilled?
Which is superior.
Okay, let's see if I can pull up what we have here. Real quick. Actually, a few things have happened I can talk about while I just kind of put this all together in the next few minutes. V went over to the UK and he was on Sargon's Lotus Eaters channel.
Okay.
That was fun to see. That was kind of a fun little thing.
Does he still live in Romania?
Yes. He got married, and he's doing the adult thing now. But he decided to go to he decided to head over to the UK to be on Lotus Eaters. I'm sure if I ever go there, I'll be able to go on, but that's not in the cards for me right now at the moment. Secondly, oh god, real quick before we start, I gotta fucking pull this up. Hold on. A view as a treat on the Lotus Eaters, really? Let me go over to Chud Logic's channel. Do you you know who Chud Logic is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a bit of him. I don't know enough, but hey.
Yeah, I'll bring it in, and I'll share the Chud Logic thing with you. Just real quick, guys. So Chud Logic's actually a pretty lefty kind of guy, but he's also very practical. You know, he's not ideological. He's also not woke at all, and he's not insane, which is refreshing. He seems to be a decent fellow. I've talked to him a whole bunch. He's a nice guy. Oops, hold on.
Oh yeah, I do know of him. He's those videos.
Yep. Chud's pretty funny. But so he's at TwitchCon right now, okay?
That's just a funny word, I think.
Chud, yeah. He's at TwitchCon, okay? Right
Uh-huh.
now in San Diego. And apparently this just happened.
And she went up to Melina, and she was shaking. Like, it was like she was so anxious or so angry, she was shaking, right? And she said, "Tell your husband, if he doesn't stop coming for me, I'm going to get his YouTube channel deleted." No fucking memes. That happened, okay? I'm not shitting you. That happened yesterday at the partner party, okay?
Jesus.
And she went up to Melina.
Yeah. So
and she was like,
hold on. He's talking about Keffels. All right.
Okay.
If you stare in the mirror at 3 a.m. and chant Keffels 3 times, she shall appear. She's become like the internet boogeyman. And that's insane. You know? You're gonna, because Destiny can't go to TwitchCon because he's banned off Twitch, right? He can't go to TwitchCon. But Melina's there, his wife. To like go up to someone's wife and then threaten
Wait,
them.
you can't even go there as a guest?
No. When you're banned from Twitch, you can't go to TwitchCon. You're banned from the location. But yeah, like if you show up at if you go up to someone's spouse and then threaten them through their spouse, like that's some deliberately fucking unhinged behavior, in my opinion. And the reason that that's worth pointing out is because Keffels is somebody who has for a long time now been like, I'm so scared, everyone's doxing me, everyone's harassing me. And then she posts, I'm going to be at TwitchCon. You know, I'm going to be a public person at TwitchCon. Here's where I am. Come find me. I don't buy that this person feels like threatened at all if they're going to do that. They're not in hiding. And then to approach it, I don't know. It seems quite bad. It seems quite bad to me. It seems pretty unhinged, in my opinion. I think she might be literally the worst fucking person on the internet right now.
Okay. I mean, if it happened that way, then it's kind of bad, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Ricada lost his channel because of Keffels, but then he got it back. So did you hear about that too?
I heard a bit about that, yeah.
Yeah, the TLDR.
I don't know enough about Ricada.
So he's like a legal guy. He's very right wing, but he's a legal guy. Yeah, he's a lawyer. And Keffels basically sent a bunch of her community to file complaints with the Bar Association to get him disbarred. And they were all baseless complaints. However, when you file those kind of complaints, your name becomes public record.
Didn't he say like he was going to line her up against a wall or something?
Well, hold on. That's a little bit later. That's a little later, okay? So what happens is they all try to get him disbarred. They all file formal complaints. All the complaints are dropped because they're bullshit complaints, okay? However, when you put your name into the system like that, it becomes public record. Those are all public documents. So he takes the documents and then reads them off on his stream. He's like, I'm going to
correction. I don't think a complaint is public. It's like it was revealed to the lawyer itself, but like there's no way you can just search up like bar complaints.
I actually think you can. Now, well, I mean, we're just
if I'm wrong,
here.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm wrong
from
too.
what I've heard.
Yeah, we both could be wrong. We're just
we're off topic though. We're off topic.
Yeah. Well, I'm using. Hold on. I'm using this to try and find like the last few links that I need. I'm just filling dead air. But yeah,
what links have you been looking for?
Well, just basically what happened was Ricada read off the names, got his channel banned. The whole line up against the wall thing, I think he was using like a euphemism, but they took it seriously. Either way, like clearly they were wrong for going after his real life job. That's fucking insane. However, like Ricada needs to be smarter in how he does things. You can't read off people's names, even if it's from a public document, and then be like, you're going against the wall, even if you're joking. Like, nowadays you're gonna get fucking destroyed off the internet if you say that shit. Like, you gotta calm the fuck down. You gotta calm the fuck down.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah. Okay, I've got everything
Yeah.
ready.
You don't say that shit.
Yeah.
Especially if people are gonna go after you and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But hey.
Hold on. Tidge he said she belongs on the wall with all the other maps and pedos. I see. I mean, I watched the.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just like, oh, he didn't say he was gonna murder her. It's just okay.
I want her to be murdered. Yeah, like it's that kind of distinction, which is not a great distinction. Well, I do know that, like, I watched the whole Destiny manifesto reveal of all the shit Keffel's did, and there is a little bit of weird stuff with kids in there potentially, but it's not confirmed. So, circumstantial evidence, no proof, kind of thing. Wow, Dev, for a person who is about the facts, you got almost all the facts wrong. Yes, welcome to my show. Only the topic that I have prepared for do I have the facts ready. Otherwise, I'm just shit posting. And the topic of today, is the protests in Iran. That's what's going on.
We shall cover that today.
Wait, Lilith is
It's
a
been
Keffel
happening.
simp? Lilith, are you a Keffel simp?
No, I'm not a Keffel simp. I'm like neutral, and I don't know enough about it. I've mostly
Lilith?
just stayed out about it.
Lilith?
I am not
It's
a Keffel simp.
Okay.
I don't really have that much opinions about her. I pretty much just have Keffels on mute on Twitter at this point. The word Keffels, because
Good choice. Good
Keffels,
choice, to be honest.
Keffels. I don't care. It's just internet celebrity bullshit drama.
Yeah, and unironically, she's going to be gone in like 6 months to a year. I think she's a flash in the pan in terms of internet celebrity status. She's tried to do non-drama content on her channel, and like no one watches it. So I think she's just someone who's going to like burn fast and burn out, So she's not really worth really thinking about too much. Kind of like on Anita Sarkeesian. Like, who the fuck? Like, hold on, just real quick. Anita Sarkeesian on YouTube. Feminist Frequency. All right. Channel with 215,000 subs. And her latest video got 800 views.
Yeah.
And that was 9 days ago. Like, it's a dead channel. The number of subs don't matter.
900. That's like nothing.
Yep. She might break 1,000
and she was
sometimes.
Like in the news everywhere.
Yep, she was at the UN. She was doing, but here's the thing: she was a one-trick pony, and she burned out.
The internet needs a boogeyman and a villain, and I feel like it's just so boring.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go. I'm finally ready. We've been following the rackets thing very closely in your Discord. You got a few things wrong, but not that much. Okay, Tidge. Here, Tidge, send me a DM. I'll commiserate with you later. Maybe do a video on it if it's necessary. I'm going to share with you this. Okay, Lilith, so you can see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will... Actually, hold on. Super chats first. There's been a few supers. We'll rock through them quick. And then we will talk about the protests, guys. My friends. Here we go, monetization. Supers. $2 from Joy to the World. Have you heard about Sneeko's ban? I have. Have you?
No. Who's Sneeko?
He was a YouTuber that had like a few million subs. He got banned. He's been going down like the conspiracy rabbit hole recently regarding like the vaccines and stuff. So regardless of how you feel about those topics, the fact that he was openly saying it, I mean, YouTube was bound to ban him eventually, Brett Werdesheim for $5.
Can't fly too close to the sun,
Yeah, exactly. Remember, it was possible to survive Pompeii. It was a Persian false flag. Totally possible for the Rings of Power people to survive.
That Rings of Power shit is still... Gosh, we still haven't started the topic, though. But still, Super Chat's important. They did give us money, but still.
Did you just get, like, re-triggered by Rings of Power volcano time?
It was just like... when that scene with all the ashes flies in to Galadriel's face, it's just like dead, dead, dead. Everybody there should be dead.
Everyone there
Like,
should be
there's
dead.
no way anybody could survive that shit. And most of them survived because fucking their main characters and even not even main characters, just even side characters were like, oh, or dust off the ash. We gotta stop looking like Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. Okay, here. Keyblade Master Andy, $2. Bob Hoskins had the look. Lou Albano had the stereotype. Yeah, it's true. Like, Bob Hoskins looked like Mario, but Lou Albano was actually like a dirty Italian man. So it kind of worked out. You gotta like fusion them. Make him do the fusion dance. Jasso Havens, $5. Right. Okay. No, we already did that one. Okay. Okay, that's all of them, dude. That's all of them. Oh, actually, before we start, just real quick, have you played Inscription, Lilith?
I have not.
It's an
I'm not
amazing
too
game.
much on the card games though.
You know what? It's like, do you know the conceit of the game?
What is it?
Okay, so it is a
I know
card game.
there's some
Yeah.
hidden stuff in it, like
Yeah.
some meta commentary. It was like
So-
game within a game stuff.
Yeah, so you're playing a card game against like a creepy kind of like faceless thing. However, you can actually get up from the table and walk around, and you realize you're playing this game locked in a cabin in the woods. And the cabin itself also has like puzzles you have to solve in the cabin. And
Yeah.
the way the game is played is like you can like the actual card game itself is a roguelike, so you keep like losing and then restarting the game, and it's randomly generated encounters. But the cabin itself that the game takes place in has puzzles that have to be unlocked to actually advance the roguelike, like the actual ability to go farther in the roguelike in the main card game. It's actually really interesting. The way that like sometimes you have to play a few rounds of the cards and then get up from the table and go do other things for a while. It's very interesting and it's very, very fun. I really enjoy it. I regret not playing it when it came out. It scratches like all my
sometimes
itches.
waiting for a bit before playing it is good though, because like I believe they have made like updates and stuff to it and expansions, if I'm not mistaken.
They have, yeah. But like it scratches all my itches. I like it, it's not jump scare horror, it's creepy horror. I kind of like that. I like card games. I like FMV games as an FMV game. I like point and click games. Everything together in one package for me. It's amazing. I love all this shit.
Yeah, we're gonna need a video starts timestamp for this one.
Oh no! My favorite part was when Mordor yelled, "It's Morbin time! It's Morden time!" and then morded all over Middle Earth. Oh fuck!
So true. That happened.
The game is called. The chat's asking. The game is called Inscription. Here, INSCRYPTION.
I've been playing Cult of the Lamb. Like I started playing it yesterday on stream.
I heard that was
good. It's a lot better than I thought it would be, because I went into the game blind. Like I didn't. Oh, you can't say that anymore. You can't say blind playthroughs.
Oh god, yeah, they have canceled that off Twitch. Yeah.
Yes, but it's got like it's more in depth and more fun than I thought it would be. Like
I might try it.
It's similar to Binding of Isaac in a little bit, in that like the map transitions and the enemies, but it's more like a slasher beat 'em up with
yeah
than anything else.
Is it multiplayer or just one player?
I believe it's one player.
Yeah, I might try it on stream because it looks.
They might update it at some point though.
I know like that was the big indie game like 6 months ago. I might try it out.
Yeah.
Try it out. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's 6 months old. I think it's like a few months old. But so yes, yes. Timestamp. Actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's the timestamp for this video. Okay.
24.
No. Here's the timestamp. The timestamp for the video, in case you want to watch all of the good content, is the fucking beginning.
Yeah.
Giga chat. Okay, here. I'm gonna bring in what we got going on. Okay, so I am old enough to remember that Iran's protests have been happening pretty much off and on for the past 15 years. And I remember very well the 2009 Iranian presidential election protests. And this was kind of the beginning of what was happening of the modern Iranian political situation. It began in 2009, where basically there was a clearly rigged election. There was protests and stuff. However, I remember this. It was termed the Twitter Revolution because it was the first time a protest was primarily carried out using Twitter to communicate and coordinate. And in fact, there was a moment where Twitter had to go.
They blocked the Iranian government blocked Twitter for that.
Mm-hmm. But
because oh no, they're using this to organize against our Shab election now.
Mm-hmm. But what ended up happening was I remember this very well, is that the Americans didn't have any idea what was happening in Iran. Apparently they had no surveillance assets or anything. So they had no fucking clue what was going on. But they could get information through Twitter. And Twitter had to go down for maintenance. Okay? And somebody in Obama's in Obama's cabinet called Twitter up and was like, don't please don't don't turn off Twitter for a little bit, okay? We got to get more information. And then Jack is like, what, really? And that was kind of a thing. I remember that very, very specifically, because that was back when I was in university. I remember hearing this, oh Jesus, this is really going down.
Yeah, I remember hearing that one too. I mean, good for them. It's too bad they didn't overthrow their shitty government, but hey.
Well, nonviolent protests, even mass nonviolent protests, if you're not facing a government that's accountable to the citizens, it doesn't change anything. You have to fight. That's just how it is, But what really...
I mean, Gandhi did it, but hey.
Gandhi
maybe
did
there's
it...
some way, but it's difficult.
Well, Gandhi did it because the British weren't just willing to shoot him. And the Iranians are more than willing to just shoot any Gandhis they have. And
I think the British were afraid of turning Gandhi into a martyr or something.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Iranians don't care about that. It's a difference in culture, For the Brits, they were they still had some respect for all human life in a universal sense, and not just people of their tribe. So, for example,
but the Iranians government, no such thing even for their own people.
No, because they don't view these people as their own people, because a lot of the people who are protesting are not the same type of Muslim as they are, or not a Muslim at all. But what I mean to say though is so this is what I remember most.
A lot are Muslims though,
from 2009.
Who are just not as extreme. And
that's what I mean. So that's lots of extreme Christians say that moderate modern Christians aren't Christians at all. That's pretty normal sentiment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is.
What I remember the most from the 2009 incident was the killing of Neda Agha Sultan. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was participating in the protests, and she was walking back to her car when she was shot in the chest. And in fact, the video of her getting shot was uploaded on YouTube. And that was really what got the West's attention regarding Iran. I don't think you can find the video anymore, but I remember watching it, and it's pretty gruesome of her getting shot. Yeah. A frame of the video where she was shot. Yeah. It's fucking brutal, dude. Jesus.
That's the thing, though, is to put it in perspective, at least, it's been reported, at least 82 protesters has been, protesters, not just protesters, and bystanders has been killed by the Iranian government and police.
In the current protests or in total?
In the current protest.
Okay, yeah. So, since then, there was the protest in 2017, there was the protest in 2019, And then there's the current protests in 2021 and 2022. And basically, like, the protesting never stops when it comes to Iran. They're just fucking going, man.
I mean, yeah, this one's been going on for a while, and the protests come and go, but this one seems to be like the bigger ones in recent times.
Yeah. Now, there's, like, this is just kind of humorous real quick. America seems to like to fearmonger a lot about Iran. You know, in 1995, they were saying Iran may be able to build an atomic bomb in 5 years. In 2003, Iran closes in on ability to build a nuclear bomb. In 2012, Iran on the brink of nuclear bomb in 6 months. In 2021, Iran is 2 months away from nuclear bomb. So they've been like a few months away from this shit for 20 years now. To almost 30 years. So I think it's kind of important to notice that, like, there are certain cultural elements within the West that really want us to be anti-Iran. And
yes, it's fair to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's fair to acknowledge that. That being said, though, if you look at the 2020 protests, they're very similar to the ones the 2020 protests. They're very similar to the ones happening right now. So, for example, you know, there was this video that went viral back in January of 2020, and you can see like they're protesting, but they actually refuse to walk largely on the American and Israeli flags. So apparently the government likes to put these in the ground so that people walk in them, because walking on a flag is considered a very grave insult in the Middle East. But a lot of protesters will just walk around it, you know. And so that is something that I remember this going viral back in the day. And yeah, like, we don't have to go into detail too much of the old stuff, but there was basically detentions of people who didn't deserve it, you know, crackdown on protests, all the stuff that you think of when you think of just a bog standard authoritarian regime happening in Iran.
I do find it funny how, like, the Iranian government put the flags down on the ground as a form of disrespect. Meanwhile, Western liberals and woke, like, politicians would be like, we spent $10,000 painting a rainbow flag on a sidewalk or on a crosswalks. And it's just like, okay, great.
and then when someone drives over it and leaves a tire mark, they think it's a hate crime. It's so fucking stupid.
I mean, like, sometimes tire marks are intentional, but it's just like some of them is just like completely accidental. It's just like, okay, what do you expect? It's on the ground. Yeah. Putting flags on the ground is pretty fucking disrespectful. And,
it's pretty stupid.
Oh, we did it to support the LGBT plus community. Okay. Why did you put it on the fucking ground then? You idiots.
Yeah, it's literally just symbols and not actually doing anything.
Yeah, just appearances of doing something.
And you see a lot of like, this is from.
It's a literal virtue signal.
What happened in 2020 was that the Iranian government shot down a Ukrainian plane that was carrying mostly students. And so people protested, and. Yeah, they just shot down like a passenger plane.
No, so why did they do that?
I don't quite.
I'm not too familiar with that story.
I think they were I think they were just saying that it was like they made up some excuse about it, like, being actually like an attacking plane, or it carried something, or like they're just excuses, right? But yeah, they were chanting, our enemy is right here. They're lying that it's America. Yeah, so like a lot of the people who are protesting, they're actually quite pro-American.
Based.
Also happening around the same time was when Qasem Soleimani was drone striked by Trump. Remember that shit?
I remember.
Where he was like, basically, yeah, it was. They thought it was a spy plane. It wasn't. Yeah. Basically with Soleimani, like, he was like, "Do it, dude, do it," and Trump's like, "Okay," and then just fucking blew him up.
Local man droned. I bet you're not gonna drone me.
Yeah, I know Sargon said that he shit posted himself to death because it all happened on Twitter. Listen, don't bug Trump on Twitter, guys. If he still had Twitter, he will send the drone after you. But yeah, like for some reason, the issue ultimately is that
I'm trying to find it because there's like a monument they did and it's hilarious. Here, I found it.
you found it.
Here.
Let me see if I.
You should post that on the stream because they did a monument for him. It's the funniest thing one of the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Let's see. Memorial for Soleimani erected in Lebanon depicts the moment his SUV was hit by a drone missile. Dude. It's like, rest in peace, buddy.
More like rest in pieces.
Wow.
Holy shit. It's just him smiling in a fucking car.
In the SUV.
With a giant drone missile.
Hold on. Wait, Mergen's not muted. You're not muted. Okay. But yeah, dude, like, fuck. Wow. So, the issue with this situation is that because Trump ordered it, even though Soleimani is actually like a really bad guy, like, paradoxically, the left in the United States was like, we hate this. We're now all pro-Iran. The Democrats, even like socialists and stuff online, they were like, Trump's going too far. You can't kill a terrorist leader. It's like, what? What the fuck happened to you guys? What? So I don't know if you remember this, but like, it was such a weird situation. You know, you have people protesting for their democracy in Iran. They don't want to wear hijabs anymore. They're going up against the cops. You know, you got videos of it. You've got, like, so much stuff is going on here, okay? Protests, tons of people. And then here's Pelosi on it.
We get there. We're seeing now demonstrations in the streets of Iran against the regime. Do you support those protesters, and would it be a good thing if they brought the regime down?
Well, the protesters are protesting, as I understand it, this brand of protesters about the fact that that plane went down, and many students were on that plane, and these are largely students in the street. I think the Iranians should have not had commercial flights going off when there was.
They're calling out the regime for lying. They're saying death to Khamenei as well.
No, well, whatever it is. But the fact is this: there were protesters in the streets before against the regime. After the taking out of Soleimani, there were protesters in the street joined together, as you know, against us. That wasn't good. Taking down this plane is a terrible, terrible tragedy. And they should be held accountable for letting commercial flights go at a time that was so dangerous. But there are different reasons why people are in the street. Of course.
So that was a very weak response, in my opinion. If it were not Trump, if it were somebody else, especially if it were a Democratic president that this happened under, she'd be like, we're bringing democracy to the Middle East. We're taking out terrorists. What the fuck? Man.
Yeah. And to my understanding, this Soleimani guy did orchestrate the deaths of American soldiers too. So he is it's like kind of like, fuck him, you know?
Hold on, could you not hear that? Shit. Here, I'll try to restream it to you. You should be able to hear. Okay, hold on.
A good thing.
Can you hear it now?
If they brought the regime down.
Well, the protesters are.
Why isn't it streaming audio to you? It was before. It did it. God damn it.
You're gonna have to link the videos to me and maybe
no.
We'll figure out how things work after the stream, I guess.
I haven't I did this with you last week and it still streamed to you. Like, why Discord?
Yeah, it worked last week.
Discord. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I know that you guys can hear it, chat, but Lilith can't hear it. And that's no good. That's no good. Stream smoother video. Okay, where's the audio? It should just work.
Technology shakes fist.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, like this is a very kind of tepid response from Pelosi when we know that if Biden or somebody else who was part of the Democratic Party were in control, were the president when this happened, they'd be like gung ho. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine if Obama had done it.
Yeah. Yep.
They'd be full on supporting it.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, whenever there was any sort of like, we killed a terrorist or we stopped this atrocity in the Middle East or something, for some reason, from 2016 to 2020, and only in that period, Western media was very, very against it. Why? Why, guys? What the fuck? You know?
What happened during those years?
Yeah, what happened? So, for example, people were saying that Iranian people were united in their outrage that Soleimani was killed. It's like, no, they weren't. They were protesting. Why are you guys reporting on things that are actually false? You know?
Yeah.
Like they were protesting. Like all of this shit was like repressed. I remember this. People were saying it didn't happen. Stop going against the narrative. You can't say this. You know?
Yeah, there was actually a lot of Iranians that were celebrating this too.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. This is the what actually happened with the plane.
This is a CBS.
Wait, can you hear that? No,
Nothing for me.
Okay, I'll just give it to you. Here it is.
Yeah, I'll play it.
God damn it.
News special report. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Good morning. CBS News has learned that U.S. officials are confident that Iran shot down a Ukrainian jetliner in the hours after the Iranian missile attack on U.S. targets. 176 people were killed, including at least 63 Canadians. This information is based on U.S. intelligence, which sources say picked up signals of a radar being turned on. U.S. satellites also detected, we are told, 2 missile launches, which happened shortly before the plane exploded. There will be more about this story on your local CBS News affiliate. You can also watch more coverage on our streaming news service, that's CBSN.
Dude, the news music is always like so extreme. It's like dun 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 dun. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ, guys, calm down a bit. But okay.
But like, holy shit! Like, how do you just? I don't know how radars work exactly, but there's got to be some kind of signature with like military planes as opposed to civilian jetliners. Like, I'm pretty sure those are very different planes. And how do you get those mixed up? And just we detected planes on our radar. Time to shoot them down.
Here was a.
I don't know why I had a southern accent. They were not southern.
Here is from the Arizona Republic, their headline: Iranians mourn Soleimani. Like, why was this the narrative, guys? Like, what the fuck? How did you guys fuck up this badly?
Yeah, this was the guy who was like killing American soldiers and like killing Americans. It's just like, why are you running defense for this guy? Like he was some kind of saint.
This was definitely like a meme. That Soleimani's dead body was flying coach back to Iran when he was killed in Iraq. Basically, they had the coffin laid out across multiple seats on a coach flight. It's like, oh, fuck, dude. Do you guys not have enough money?
Do you guys not have phones?
Hold on. Here. Share your screen. I'm going to share the screen. Where is it? Which screen is it? It's this screen. Okay. There. Shared. Yeah. There's like
I see it now.
So like,
I think I just had to click on it.
Can you hear it?
پیر آمد و طریق رفتن آمد آن که نرفته و جا مانده منت
It's okay. He's not saying anything important.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, this was a journalist from the New York Times. A rare personal video of General Soleimani reciting poetry shared by a source in Iran about friends departing and him being left behind. It's like, why are you doing like these touching tributes?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? I mean, actually, this is not the same at all. The same situation, or sorry, it's not Iran. It's this happened in elsewhere, but still, same thing fucking happens. I don't know if you remember this. I'll just pull it up real quick.
Right, the al-Baghdadi guy.
Yeah,
the ISIS leader.
Yeah, Washington Post was criticized and lampooned over the headline announcing Baghdadi's death.
Right, I like called him like this austere religious scholar. It's like, okay.
Yep.
he was the fucking leader of ISIS. You fucks.
Yeah, the leader of ISIS killed by Americans under Trump. But he was an austere religious scholar. We couldn't say that Trump ever got a win. We couldn't say that. So,
Trump just killed this innocent, poor, austere religious scholar for no reason.
Fucking ridiculous, dude. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, well, somebody please think of this poor terrorist leader who killed him, who bombed himself as well as his family at the last moments of his life.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to protests, Iranian leaders, they don't give, like, this is what I mean about, this is not a Gandhi situation. They don't give a fuck. Crack down on unrest. Do whatever it takes to end it. They don't care. They don't care about killing people. They don't care about blowing people up. They don't give a fuck. They just do not care. They do not care.
Yep.
Info emerging on protesters in Iran being raped by the Islamic Republic secret police. It's a practice to prevent virgins from going to heaven. So if you're not a virgin and you're not married, then you're not going to heaven. So that's why they do it. If you're a protester,
that's harrowing.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking terrible.
Oh, we're not only gonna rape you, we're raping you to send you to hell because our fucking fucking animals just fucking.
That's racist, Lilith. That's racist.
No, it's not racist to call rapists animals. Fuck them.
I know. I'm trolling you.
I know. I know you are, but like, it's just fucking hell.
Speaking of the flags, though, Iranians have a factory that makes 2,000 American flags every month just so they can burn them. they make U.S., British, and Israeli flags so that people can burn them, and they just make burnable flags, and that's their entire business model. I mean, at least someone's getting paid out of all of this, right? It's like, Jesus. All right.
There was like I don't know if this was Iran or some other place. It was in Lahore, and here there's a headline.
Okay.
Protester dies after inhaling fumes from burning American flag.
Oh my God, dude! Don't breathe it in.
What did they do to what did they put in the flags?
Oh God, can you imagine?
USA, USA, USA.
They just make every single flag have like poison in it, but only if you burn it, just to fuck over everyone.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna just close all the stuff we don't need anymore. And like, there's also like, you always hear like little bits of strange news come out of Iran. So female cartoon characters on Iranian TV must wear a hijab. And it's like, all right. It's just like these are people who do not give a shit that it seems like the majority of the population doesn't want any of this. They have the power and they're just simply doing it because they can, you know. And in fact, these are more protests from last year.
I've actually heard like edits, like cartoons being released in Middle Eastern countries, like with the female characters have to have a hijab edited over them.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. Someone asked, Dev, is your chat censored? I've seen people's messages in chat not appear on your chat. That's YouTube's doing, man, not mine. I can see all the chats, but whether or not they're transmitted back to you, that's on YouTube, not me. But yeah, there's you know what? There are so many protests that happen, and they all look like they could be this protest, but it almost feels like there's no this protest. It's just been happening the whole time. You know what I mean? That's all this has been. It's just been the protests.
It comes and goes, but this one was sparked because, like, there was like a woman that was arrested and detained by the Iranian morality police, so to speak.
There was actually there were several women. In fact, there were several women.
Oh yeah, but the main spark was that one woman. But then it spiraled and spiraled because they just kept killing women and protesters.
Yep. So this is the first one, I think. This is Nika Shakarami, 17 years old. She looks like your average Western scene kid from back in the day, you know?
No,
Like-
that's not the first one. That was after what happened. What initially happened was
Wait,
a woman
I
named...
gotta find the other one. What's her name? Let's see.
She is named Masha Amini.
Do I?
And she's a 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian who was visiting Tehran. And
here it is.
what she did was, I believe she was wearing a hijab, but some of her hair was revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So she got arrested by the religious police, sent to their camp, and several days later, she died in custody.
Right.
And her family members were like, "What the fuck? This is fucked up. You fucking killed her." And which is a reasonable thing to suspect. You don't just get sent to religious re-education camp and die mysteriously.
Mysterious death. So here's the timeline of events, okay? So 22-year-old Masa Amini died last month while in custody of the morality police. So on September 13th, she is detained by morality police in Tehran because of her inappropriate attire. September 16th, she dies after falling into a coma. Falling into a coma. Police say that she suffered a heart attack and was taken to a station to be
coma,
educated.
quote,
Yeah.
big air quotes. It's just,
Her father later said that she had bruises on her legs and held the police responsible for her death.
just
President
dies mysteriously.
investigation.
She fell into a coma for no reason, Dev.
Protests erupt during Amini's funeral in Sakez, her hometown in Kurdistan.
Obviously sarcasm.
Security forces fired tear gas. Protests spread to the provincial capital. Chants of death to the dictator are heard, with some women removing their headscarves. Demonstrations spread. Hundreds gathered around the university, shouting women life freedom. Protests intensify, taking place in a bunch of cities. Yep.
And
Yep.
security police started killing protesters.
We will definitely get to that, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess she was this 17-year-old scene kid was like the second one, I guess, or one of the ones that after it all started.
One of the big ones, yeah. And they are saying she fell off a roof.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to all that. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. But
I know, but it's just like the Iranian government, their official story is, "Oh, we didn't do anything. They just died." Oh, what happened? What happened, guys?
Yeah. Well, like she looks like a very normal kind of Western kid. Definitely the kind of girl that I hung out with and also crushed on when I was in high school. Like, absolutely. I really liked the baggy t-shirt, short, messy hair kind of look, like the semi-punk look on kids when I was also a kid. So like, fuck, like she's 17, guys.
Yeah, it's just what the
Transferred
fuck
her
are you
body
doing,
to the
killing
father's
children?
hometown
Like,
of Yeah. On what would have been her 17th birthday. This is his uncle. He was forced to sit in front of the camera to denounce the uprising and deny that her niece was killed by the security forces. A voice in the background can be heard whispering and telling him, "Say it, you shit." Jesus.
So she was like, she's not quite 17. She was like a few days before her 17th birthday, so she was like 16.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Walsh must be crying his eyes out.
Why?
Did you hear his comments about fertile teenagers?
No, I didn't actually. What's the story there?
He was like saying he was saying like 16-year-olds were at their most fertile, and that it used to be normal for them to get pregnant. It wasn't such a big deal, and that teen pregnancy wasn't the problem. Unwed pregnancy was the problem, and this is like,
I mean,
fucking hell.
That probably was true way back in the day, but that was a different time, and we're not then.
Yeah, and
Like,
it's
there
not.
you go.
It's not right then. It's not right now.
Oh God, Arch in the chat.
Fucking-
I liked that look on kids. Dev 2022. Listen. Okay, I can think back to how I was when I was a teenager, and remember the kind of girls that I fucked around with. All right, and while at the same time not doing it as an adult. Jesus Christ, guys, calm the fuck down. Jesus. But yeah, like,
He was talking about the past, but he was also defending it too.
yeah.
So,
let's
not cool.
see.
Not a good look.
At least 82 Baluchi protesters and bystanders have been killed in the bloody crackdown. So the Iranian security forces have killed 66 people, including children, injured hundreds of others, after firing live ammunition, metal pellets, and tear gas at protesters, bystanders, and worshippers during a violent crackdown after Friday prayers. So yeah, they are actually just killing people now.
People in your chat are defending this, Dev.
Defending
Holy
what?
shit. Someone said age of consent is a social construct. What makes 18 so much better than 17 or 16? What does it get weird? Fuck off.
Here's the thing.
You-
So in Canada, the age of consent is 16. It's 16 here in Canada. However,
That
the
doesn't
issue-
mean like
the issue
16-year-olds
is-
should be getting pregnant.
Yeah, obviously.
It's weird talking about their fertility.
Yeah, the issue, guys, is that we do need some kind of standard, because clearly having sex with a 25-year-old is okay, and clearly having sex with a 10-year-old is not okay. So there has to be some kind of standard in between those numbers. Now, some places put it at 18, some at 16, whatever. The point is, like, the standard is never going to be perfect and exact for all people, but you still need one. And so that's how it is. Chill the fuck out. You fucking pedophiles.
Yeah. It's just don't stop being creeps. Stop fantasizing about how fertile a teenager is. How about that?
Okay. Hold on. There are so many people in the chat. I recognize your names. You're like the left are pedos, guys. And then like you're in here saying this shit. Like, what the fuck? Calm down. Why are you all suddenly pedophiles?
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Oof. Just remember their name and just be like, next time they say stupid shit, and be like, did you defend it? Oof.
Don't worry, Dev. No one in this chat is having sex with anyone. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so a young woman's death in Iran has sparked an uprising, and news organizations are grappling with how to cover it. So this is, man, there are so many people who are like on the extreme left who are just like anti-West, anti-America, no matter what. So they're like, yeah, it's really good when you know, this is these protests are obviously just like a CIA glow
CIA
up.
color revolution.
Yeah, fucking and then
Everything is a
it's
fucking
like
CIA color revolution to these fuckheads.
everything.
Oh, how dare you protest against this repressive, regressive, fucking authoritarian regime that's anti-America? Didn't you know they hate America? That means everything they do is right. It's. I've seen a lot of conservatives fall into this, but this is also a very common, like, commie tanky shit. Commie
Yeah.
tanky rhetoric. Like, everything's a color revolution from CIA.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's what it is it's just anti-West sentiment. All right, people on the extreme right hate the West because it's gone way too woke, and people on the extreme left hate the West because it's the capitalist patriarchy that has to be torn down, and anything that is not, you know, a part of white supremacy, even if it's, you know, let's say Muslim supremacy, that's all good because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's all stupid. It's all stupid. It's all fucking stupid. But yeah, you got people who are like, how do we report on this? How can we possibly say that our own country and our own culture and our own people and our own way of life is actually good? How could we say that? And it's like, well, maybe you should just fucking say it. Grow some balls and fucking say that, yes, our civilization is actually good. And we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Just say it. It's okay. Yes, it's okay.
Freedom and liberty is good, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yep. Listen,
I'm tired of pretending otherwise.
I am.
People should have the right to wear a hijab if they want, and then people should have the right to take it off and burn it if they want.
Listen, I am. My politics at my politics at this point are that I am a liberal supremacist. Okay? All other politics and ways of life are inferior. How does that sound?
I wouldn't go that far, but there's
yes.
But there's a lot about the West that is good, and that it's good when our cultures and countries want to be like us.
West
and,
is best.
At least in terms of like freedom and liberty.
West is best, Lilith.
There's a lot of baggage associated with that term.
No, I am uncompromisingly liberal. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, maybe your culture isn't. Fuck your culture. West is best.
Some cultures do deserve to get fucked. There's some like island nations where it's just like where they just I don't know what it was called, but like they believe like little boys turn into men when they receive semen or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And there was like some cultures with like it's just like entire villages just rape and have sex with quote unquote girls in that village.
Girls?
Like I don't know if it was girls or boys, but it was just like there's a lot of really fucked up cultures that are just like they just should not be okay. It is a good thing we have the age of consent in the West.
Yes,
and
it is. Yes.
We are superior to cultures that do not have it.
Yep. We are. You know what?
That's why I'm not eating.
We've got
maybe
liberal.
My mouth is a little dry,
listen,
but still,
liberal democratic capitalism is unironically the best system, and every other one can get fucked. Left, right doesn't matter. Anyway, to continue on.
Yeah.
To continue on. People are like, oh,
it was Papua New Guinea, somebody said. And yeah, it sounds right.
Honestly, people just need to fucking deal with the fact that the West is awesome and stop, like, wringing your hands about it. Like, oh, aren't we reinforcing white supremacy by talking about how good we are? Shut up! We're good. It's okay. And yes.
Yeah, slavery is bad and we should stop it, I guess.
Yep. Nika Shakarami went
Definitely
missing.
stop it, obviously.
People protesting. Wait, why does it say soy in the picture? Is she protesting soy?
It means yo soy. It means I am.
Oh, does it?
I think.
But soy. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I am.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we covered this. These are the time. Okay, hold on. I gotta.
I know you think about soy and immediately think like the American context. Ooh, soy, soy
Yeah.
boy. But it means
So this has been going on for 3 weeks then. These
but yeah,
these
Spanish.
crackdowns and these events, it's been going on for about 3 weeks now. And it was triggered by the death of Massa Amini. Yep, we already know that. And there's been a bloodbath, and people were killed on Friday. There's a rape of a 15-year-old by a police commander. There was people are like posting shit online. Like there's so much stuff happening. There's so like every day there's like a new event. Like there's someone else gets killed, someone else gets raped, someone else disappears, you know. People are like taking off their hijabs. Like this is actually, I don't think this will be the one that overthrows the government, because I don't think that they're going to actually fight the Revolutionary Guard, which have like 200,000 men at arms. Like good luck.
Which is why, Dev, we need them to have 3D printers.
So they can start printing guns. They can start shooting back.
I think it is the right of every citizen around the world to overthrow their shitty government if they become so shitty and corrupt and so oppressive that they do this shit.
No, guys, I don't even Spanish. I'm not an Americuck. And like in 2009,
no,
they're using the internet.
I know Dev isn't defending it, as Avi said.
In 2009, they are like in 2009, they're also using the internet to post everything. So, yeah, women in Iran are begging American people with the platform to use their voice. You have like women who are shaving their heads. They're not wearing hijabs anymore. They're posting pictures. They're posting videos. There have been like I recall seeing for years now like videos trickle out of women like not wearing hijabs and dancing in the streets of Iran. And man, it's always a scary situation because who the fuck knows what's going to happen to them?
I mean, yeah, they were brave then, and the women that are protesting, the women and men that are protesting today are brave too.
Yeah.
Like, there's like lots of like students that are just like saying fuck the dictator, fuck like the corrupt government is just like
I'm gonna refresh the super chat.
and we really don't know what's gonna happen to them. There's a lot of protesters that are already getting killed and shot and just disappeared, so the true number might even be higher.
Yeah. Thanks for the support and super chats today, guys, by the way. I do appreciate it. Let's read the 3 more that came in real quick. Dr. Diddler for $5. Liberal world hegemonic power is unironically based, and if you don't like it, you can eat it, because it's coming anyways. Based. Yeah,
there should
honestly,
be one superpower.
America.
Yes.
Honestly, Russia's basically dying in Ukraine, and China, I think, will face a collapse within the next 50 years.
I've seen a lot of people where it's just like, ooh, we need a multipolar world. We need a multipolar superpowers. No, there should be one superpower with America and NATO at its helm.
Well, I mean, the multipolar thing is basically a photocopy of the competition breeds excellence argument that you get from like the private marketplace, right? Like you can't just have one thing in a domain, or else that becomes complacent and monopolistic, and it becomes more exploitative, and it stops like innovating. And you can make that same argument with America. Like maybe America got weak because it didn't have anything to oppose it, right? Maybe that's the case.
And now that Russia is doing all this shit, and it's actually united the West a lot.
Oh yeah. Like everyone kept saying, this is the end of the liberal world order. I can't. Oh my God, Russia's toppling the game board. Look at all the lib cucks scrambling. And now 6 months on, look at us. Like the liberals have completely united in purpose, and Russia is like floundering. So
yeah,
Russia's
been shown to be like a paper tiger, and now their bridge is gone.
Yep.
Womp womp.
I saw the bridge video. Charlie, $5.
Somebody asked, Lilith, do you support the Second Amendment? I do. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yep.
Second Amendment, First Amendment, forever.
Charlie, $5. It always amazes me how Dems and rightoids, rightoid, animals. That's a very even if I were to typo correct that to animals, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, it always amazes me how, let's just say, Democrats and rightoids defend regimes when they're aware it will hurt them later. Also, hi you two. It's been a while. Well, thank you. Thanks for the $5, man. Welcome back. Charlie, $2. The chat says groomer, and then the chat also says if it bleeds, it breeds. God, this is why my groomer video focused on both like the leftist groomers, like the libs of TikTok people in the schools and stuff, but also it had a section on the right-wing groomers who were doing like the weird child bride shit and the child pageant shit in the South.
The child brides, yeah. and yes.
I did both sides because there's fucking groomers everywhere, man.
I've seen the right-wingers making the argument, oh, it's not a problem if they're married, so you want child brides? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah,
it's also fucked. Like there's groomers everywhere, and I think they just like use politics or use religion as an excuse, you know, like the brief for the right, for the extreme right, you'll see people do like the whole be fruitful and multiply and like historical precedents when it comes to like having sex with children and stuff. But then on the left, there is this ideological push towards more sexual openness and alternate sexualities.
Tradition to have sex with children.
Well, yeah,
fuck
but
your tradition. Fuck your tradition.
Hold on, though, because on the left you do see a push towards more sexual openness, and you do see a push towards these alternate identities and sexualities, such that if you consider the existence of them to be a priori good, then you are actually politically inclined to push children into them, and we have seen instances of that on the left as well. So it's not like no side has a monopoly on being weird fucking pedophiles. That shit's everywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not good when people push sexual shit.
Yeah.
To children at all.
Wumquin for $20. Thank you. Dev, have you read The End of History and the Last Man by Francis Fukuyama? And if so, what are your thoughts? Personally, I disagree with your conclusions. I have, but it's been a long time since I read it. And I don't remember much about it. I do remember that basically he was like Francis Fukuyama is like a pure neolib, but he was using a Hegelian analysis, like the thesis, antithesis, synthesis thing. He was using the dialectic to basically get to the point where he said that like neoliberalism was the ultimate final end of politics, and that history would just basically cease after everyone becomes a neolib.
I think the end of history shit is like fucking stupid. Like there is always going to be history, and there's nothing you could do to stop it. And people's views are always gonna change and adapt and evolve, and events will keep happening.
Mm-hmm. Just give me a second. If you don't mind, I need a moment. Here, talk to the chat for like a minute, okay?
Somebody is still going on a 16-year-old thing. They're saying, imagine thinking, quote, 16-year-old isn't that bad, is a one-to-one comparison comparable to directly sexualizing elementary school children. It's bad to sexualize both, though. Like, I know it's not the same as, like, somebody in their late teens and toddler, but this is sounding like, it's not pedophilia, it's hepaphilia. It's like, actually, it's hepaphilia. No, it's just like, it's bad. I know it's not the same degree of bad, but it's still creepy and, like, not good.
Okay, back. Sorry about that. Here I am.
Here I am. Da, 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 da. I forgot what the rest of the song went.
Lilith, if you wanted to change the age of consent, what would you change it to and why?
Um, 18. 18's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 16 here. I think it's 16 in some states in the United States, but most places have somewhere between 16 and 18, and that seems reasonable to me. I don't really care. That's like a fine spectrum, you know?
I feel like if 16-year-olds want to have sex with other 16-year-olds, it's just like, I don't think the police should stop them, obviously. But, like, I don't think, like, I don't think 30-year-olds should be having sex and impregnating 16-year-olds.
So,
Like, that shit's bad.
now that I am back, we have some videos. You sent me this one. This is the old man chanting death to the dictator.
Yes, the based old man. It blurred out his face because,
Yeah.
he could be killed otherwise.
He's going to the protest with his walker. He's going.
Yes.
Age of consent should be 50. No more sex for anyone. Yep. Students chanting at the university. They want freedom. Proud Iranian women getting beat by cops. Jesus Christ. They just whack her. She's just hanging out. Fucking
Somebody
wild.
said, hey, let's recall the age gap from that lesbian comic drawn down on Twitter, and people were having a meltdown for it. Oh, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was like a week ago, wasn't it? It was like, I think it was, the age gap was like 36 and 28. So an 8-year age gap, but they're both like clearly of age. And they're like, it's too big. It's like, what the fuck?
No, it was 32 and 26. So
oh, was it that?
6
Okay.
years difference.
Yeah.
And people on TikTok were like, I'm sorry, I can't. The age difference? And somebody was like, 6 years different with like a worried emoji, and somebody was like, capitalized, no! The age gap, look at it. They are, as somebody who's sensible was like, they are adults, what do you mean? That's pretty normal. And somebody says, 6 years?
Listen,
I think like a lot of people's parents have like age gaps that are like a lot bigger than that. It's like
yeah, like 5 to 10 is pretty normal nowadays. Like here, the older you get, the less
I really
the gap
don't care
matters,
what like two consenting adults do between each other. It's just this adult is having sex with a slightly younger adult. How dare they?
Yeah. 6 years
They're
is not
both
bad
adults.
at all.
As long as they're both adults, they're both consenting. Why do you care?
So here's the thing. I know, like, I am 9 or 10 years older than Naomi. All right. I know that like Medicare is 10 years older than his wife. Sargon's 10 years older than his wife. All right. This seems to be a normal thing. Like, this is very normal. That like, if a 30-year-old guy can still pull a 22 or like a 20-year-old or a 24-year-old girl, he will. Obviously, you know. That just seems like to be a normal way that heterosexual couples roll, you know? Women who are like in their early 20s, they want somebody who's kind of stable. If they're looking, here's the thing. If they're out sleeping around, it's a different story, right? Like, we're talking about relationships here. If they're looking for a relationship, they want somebody who's mature and stable and at least has something under their belt. And the men, they want somebody who is, you know, a bit more energetic, maybe a little bit younger. And that's just a normal, like why would I date somebody who is exactly my age?
I wouldn't have a problem dating somebody who's exactly my age, but I pretty much am already doing that.
Yeah.
Like, my current relationship, the age gap is only 1 month.
so
well, a little more than 1 month, I believe. But
so I've occasionally gone back to my old normie Facebook that still has people from high school on it, right?
Which is very unproblematic. I can't be canceled. No.
But yeah, I've occasionally gone back to my normie Facebook where I still have like people from high school on there and like people I used to know, and like a lot of the women haven't aged well, and it's like, well, why wouldn't I go with someone who's like 10 years younger if I still can? And I can, so fuck it. And here's the thing:
as long as they are adults, Steph.
Yes, of course, yes, they are adults. But also like over the past 5 years, maybe 2 or 3 times, a person from high school has like popped back up out of the woodwork and wanted to like go get coffee or hang out. And this person has like 3 kids from other guys, and I'm just like, no, no. Like, why would I want that kind of baggage? You know, I mean, it's not just a weird utilitarian numbers game. I truly do care for Naomi quite a bit, but if we're going to talk about the utilitarian numbers game, the fact that she's much younger than me, and she doesn't have like kids coming along from like other relationships, like why would I settle for the girl who rejected me in high school and now has 3 kids? The answer is I wouldn't, right? Like, it just, would
I
you
don't
ever
know.
stop?
If she's like a really hot MILF, I would consider it.
Hold on. Would you stop dating someone if they got too old? No, of course not. Because I'm also getting older, right? So like,
We should
when I'm
probably stop talking about
when
like
I'm
this is getting a bit off topic, but
well,
still.
hold on. Because when I'm like 50, Naomi will be 40, so I'm still doing pretty good there, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah.
That,
Wait, my great grandpa married a 20-year-old woman at age 70. She was basically a live-in housekeep, but he did it to save her reputation. Did he fuck her though? Anyway, different conversation. So yeah, lots of videos of people coming out, lots of protesting. 82 people killed in the bloody crackdown. It's getting rough. Oh yeah, what was this all about? From Resident Commie. I'm letting y'all know right now, the moment you take your top off at a protest, I'm not on your side anymore. Now,
that's fucking stupid.
here, I will steel man this position, okay? If you want your
Why?
movement not, why? Because we have to. We're pursuing truth. If you want your movement not to look like a complete fucking joke, maybe you shouldn't be flaunting your tits around during a serious event. That's probably a reasonable thing.
Fair enough, but they weren't flaunting their tits around in Iran. I believe the protesters that were flaunting their tits around were in Amsterdam, and they were doing it in support of the Iranian protests. So it's just like she's saying, I no longer support the protests because some other people who also support the protests did a thing I disagree with. Which, like, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like murdering and killing women and as well as men and protesters
Lilith
is
the
a lot
misandrist.
worse than is a lot worse than just, ooh, your nipples are showing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna change my entire mind about everything now because boob scary, boob bad. It's just like,
Yeah.
there was also another one.
Hold on, because No Pants Baby made the first actual decent point he's made in years. The Iranian movement is about female liberation, allowing them how to dress how they want. When a few then flop their tits around, what happens is the Islamic extremists go, see, they're just sexual deviants. Yeah, exactly. So you have to be like, I don't give a fuck about optics, but I'm not a protester.
I was gonna say, this is sounding a little bit optics cook.
Yeah, but if you're doing something in real life, you do have to care about optics, especially if you're up against people who only care about optics. Yeah, like, I don't give a fuck because I'm just dicking around the internet. But hey, do you recall? There was that one. There were those protesters who ran up naked in front of Putin. Like, and they were doing the whole "we got to show our tits to protest" kind of thing, and he just put both thumbs up. He's like, "Oh yeah." Do you recall that picture?
I hate Putin, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see if I can find it so the chat can see it. I liked it. Putin says of protest by topless women. Just like, look at him. Like, why do you? Putin doesn't give a fuck. Why do you think he would be offended by this?
I think like taking your top off during a protest is like is kind of dumb, but it's just
It's
like
kind of dumb, yeah.
it's also no reason to be like, oh, I no longer support it cause boob out. I think that's several magnitudes stupider.
Oh yeah, this is. I know who Britannia is. She's actually a friend of mine. I can draw the line. I can excuse police brutality, but I draw the line at taking your shirt off. You can excuse police brutality. I think we can object to both of these things, to be honest.
I
I don't.
think one is a lot worse than the other.
Yeah, but I think we
Like,
can object. We can still object to both of them.
Like objectively worse than the other. In fact, we should destigmatize the nipple and the boobie.
Wait, that was a Putin pog face. I should make that into a Twitch emote. Putin poggers. Students at a university in Tehran are beaten, detained by Iranian security force. Pressing. Yep. Let's see it. Let's watch this shit.
In our world league violence.
Can you hear it?
I
no,
cannot, so can you link it again?
God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Silly Discord.
I don't know why it stopped working, to be honest. There it is.
Thank you.
At Iran's elite university in Tehran, Iranian security forces firing bullets and swinging batons at students who were protesting the regime Sunday evening. The protests ignited after the death, many say murder, of 22-year-old Mahsa Jina Amini, who was detained by the morality police for not covering her hair and then showed up dead. CNN's Jomana Karadzic takes a closer look at this violence, a warning to some viewers. The scenes in this report you might find disturbing.
A snapshot of a night of horror at one of Iran's most prestigious universities. Chaos, panic, and fear as students, some of Iran's best and brightest, ran through the Sharif University car park in Tehran, chased by security forces on foot and on motorbikes. Those who couldn't escape the violent crackdown, hooded and taken away. We don't know what happened after this shot was fired. Birdshot and paintballs were used to crush the protests and to stop those who tried to film. As news spread, crowds gathered outside chanting, "Free the students." CNN tracked down one of those who rushed to save students trapped inside. For his safety, were concealing his identity.
I saw this SOS call from Sharif coming. And one of my friends called and he just told me that, please come save us. They are shooting at us. So we got on our bikes and we went there and we practically had to Captain America our way into the university.
Captain America?
There was blood everywhere.
Stop watching Marvel.
How many were hurt? How many were dragged away? The little video and harrowing accounts still trickling out paint a picture of the ruthless force used. Students in their thousands are staging protests on campuses and on the streets across the country. What started with demands for justice and accountability for the death of Mahsa Amini has quickly morphed into more daring, widespread calls for regime change, for bringing down the repressive Islamic Republic. Anger that has been building for years, captured in video like this one. Protesters in Tehran tearing down and destroying the Islamic Republic street sign. The regime that has a bloody history of suppressing dissent is only just beginning to unleash all it's got against its own people. But defiant protesters say, this time, there will be no turning back.
No. This is far from over. We are not scared. We are outraged. We are furious. You know, these people think that we are the previous generation, that if they do this, we are going to just stop. We are not going to stop. This is a one-way road for us, because if we stop, they are going to kill even more people, take even more people into custody, torture them, rape them. These people can't do anything. So we won't stop. This is not the end. I promise you that.
Well, there we go.
And Jake, this defiance, this determination, this is not just the words of this.
Yeah.
Cops, yeah. He's fucking...
Look at this fucking idiot right away. Foreshadowing the Christo-fascist regime coming to the U.S. You're a fucking moron. beer for breakfast. No wonder you fucking drink beer for breakfast. You're this stupid. All right. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's not cops as an institution. It's these people.
But the government.
It's the Revolutionary Guard.
The Islamic Revolution.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, this is what you mentioned earlier. Iran denies security forces killed the 16-year-old. Says she fell off a roof.
Right.
That makes sense. It makes sense she fell off a roof, right, guys? I gotta archive it to get the real article.
I hate when that happens. I think there's like an app that just skips that paywall.
It's called paying for it, and I'm not going to do that.
Nah, it's not paying for it, but still.
Okay. Iranian authorities have denied reports security forces killed a 16-year-old girl during protests, saying that she committed suicide by falling off a roof. Falling? Not jumping, but okay.
Even in their lives, they're just like, oh, she just fell. She killed herself because she fell.
Nika Shakarami, 17-year-old, fell off a roof. She was killed in Tehran while demonstrating. Yep, they're just saying it's not. The Chief Justice Hossein, whoever, said claims in opposition media about her death was lies. Based on her mother's account, she had a history of suicide attempts. However, Amnesty International says that she was beaten in the head with batons. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Yep. She was just like protesting against the repressive government and got viral for it with her face uncensored.
Yep.
And she died. She killed herself. We don't know why.
Yeah.
Why would she do that? They fucking changed the story a bunch.
Yep. They're killing protesters. Ruthlessly crack down on. Yep. I think this is all stuff we've seen before, where they've been shooting protesters. That's a corpse. God damn it, Twitter. Hold on. I'm going to take it away for you guys. Watch this video. Today, this young woman was shot. I'm just going to watch it real quick.
She's not dead.
They can't. Jesus Christ.
Yeesh.
Too late, Dev. Yeah, I know. Fucking hell. Okay. I'm going to keep the feed off. Just so that... Wait, what the fuck? Why is there an Iranian flag with pizza written on it?
For pizza.
Oh.
Maybe they got it confused with the Italian flag.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, but I'm going to look at these just to see...
That one's fine.
Okay. I just want to see if there are any more. Yeah, another girl dead. 16-year-old Serena Ismaildeza. Jesus Christ. That's cool. I just want to find the ones that we can't show. Because I know there are some. Oh, there's boobs in this one. I can't show you these guys. Those are actually decent boobs, too.
به نام زن زندگی آزادی من برای بدنم در ایران تهدید به مرگ شدم.
Like Bad Takes Factory.
Oh, what? Like, Partisan Girl? Syrian Girl? Yeah, she's fucking insane.
Fucking unhinged.
The Iranians have gone full female activism now, so it's not about personal liberty, but about full-blown neoliberal Western degeneracy. Got it. You know what?
First of all,
Based.
This is in Amsterdam, and it's one woman with her top off who's covering her nipples.
This isn't in Iran, no. I can't show it though, guys. We're gonna get fucking flagged. I can't show you this, but there's boobs. There's some boobs.
It's like, oh, how dare the supporters how dare this one supporter take off her top? This whole thing must be a CIA color revolution, even though it's not even in Iran.
I will say directly, like, even though she looks like she's a toxic as fuck person with the hairstyle and the glasses, man, I'd still bang her. I'm like, I just can't. I can't when it comes to like girls with the social justice-y look. Even though they're all like terrible people, I still want to do them.
I mean, this one's supporting a good cause, though.
Yeah. All right, so I do. Yeah, you link these two. Just wait.
I believe
guys,
this one. I
yeah.
believe that one you probably shouldn't show. But
I won't show these ones.
Oh, that one is also.
Yep,
yeah, that one was just the cops strip shooting a guy.
Okay, so listen, guys. We're gonna play these videos, but you can't watch them. Okay. A young man who was killed in his car by Communist henchmen. Oh my god. Okay.
Shut up!
Yep. The security forces just shot him in his car. Jesus. That's a lot of blood.
Yeah. He was just sitting in his car. It was just like, well, probably not even part of the protest. I know what the fuck up even he was, but like, fucking hell. They do not care about their own people at all. These fucking government stooges.
People are saying in the chat.
Link in the chat or
No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
You can't do that?
No. There are people in the chat saying that I need to that I have terrible taste in women and that Dev I can fix her otaku. Listen, this is something that we actually know. This is something that we actually know about. There's been a few studies on this, just a collection of data, where basically when a guy and a girl gets together, the girl ends up adopting the political views of the guy, much more than the guy adopts the views of the girl on average. So yes, I could in fact fix her with my mighty penis. Thank you very much. There's one more I want to see here. I can't. I do want to play it though, Tej. I want to play it. This is Islamic regime shooting at people directly. Oh god, this is gonna be bloody.
I believe it's Austrian revolution, so you could probably play this one.
Yep, they're just shooting people.
Yeah.
16 شنبه.
This guy's filming from his apartment, and they're just shooting people in the street. And they're beating them. Jesus.
دارن میزنن. وای.
All right, that's enough of that. Okay, so what can we show then? There's the boobs. All right, here. We can come back, guys. We can come back. You've got schoolgirls in Iran who are taking off their hijabs and giving the middle finger to the great leader. Schoolgirls remove their hijab and chant death to the dictator.
Also, those videos are one of the many reasons why every citizen should have the means to defend themselves against a corrupt regime.
Girls' school in Iran brought a member of the Baz parliamentary speaker students. The girls welcomed the speaker by taking off their headscarves and chanting "Get lost." Yeah, so this is a person from the government, and they're just like, "Fuck you, get out."
Good for him.
Yeah.
I really hope they stay safe. These girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then this teacher wrote on the back "Woman, Life, and Freedom" of the picture of the leader, and then turned it around. Huh. You know, there was a comedy. It was like 20 years ago. All right, during America's initial invasion into Afghanistan, and it was a comedy cartoon on Newgrounds. Okay, and basically, it was like
I remember Newgrounds.
Yeah, me too. Women were saying shit like, "Man, I'm so happy the Americans here. I can finally have tampons," and like shit like that. Like just being happy to be free. And I thought it was like, yeah, that's pretty funny. Like, haha. You know, it was true, but also funny, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I always talk about the changes in politics and how like the sides have reversed, you know, several times over the course of political history. And it does seem to be things have like rotated around a little bit, you know? You definitely get people who are idiots. I think that Syrian girl is actually like a leftist. And she's ranting against neolibs from a leftist perspective. And it's like, shit, guy, like shouldn't we be good? Shouldn't we want these people to get their freedom? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fuck.
They don't have principles. Their only thing is just America bad, America bad, America bad. Okay, yeah, America, there's things America does that are worthy of criticism. I'm not a fucking America is perfect in every way person. But it's just like there's things that you should support the people on. And this is one of them. These people are getting brutalized and murdered and raped by their government.
Yep, they are. Someone says, hold on. Syrian
people
girl
like
is
Syrian girl are fucking brain dead.
People are saying that Syrian is a Christian tradcon, but also an Arab socialist. Here's the thing, all right? Horseshoe theory is like completely, purely correct, okay?
Yeah.
The divide right now is not left-right. It is populist versus institutional. That's what's going on, all right? And
I wouldn't break it down as I wouldn't take it as that simple. There's also like there's center populism. There's like far right populism. There's far left populism.
No. That's what I mean, though, is that all those populisms are more similar to each other than they are to like the middle ground. That's the point of horseshoe theory. Is like the far left and the far right are more alike.
I'd say the
than
similarities is more between authoritarians and libertarians, like the two axes. I would say the two different axes.
The issue with that though is that half the time the libertarians are on the wrong side of things, because you can't just have like unconstrained liberty. You do need a source of legitimate authority. The issue is what legitimizes that authority. Is it just force? Is it religion? Is it tradition? Like what is it that makes the authority legitimate? And because you can't have none, but you also can't be like eternally bound to an unchanging idea. So horseshoe theory is moral foundations for crazies. But yeah, like I'm very much like in the center of everything. You know,
there's like a rise of like you mentioned TradCon socialists, right? There's like people like Haas and Jackson Hinkle and are like the MAGA socialists, the MAGA communism or something, and it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
But the thing is, like, there's some people who are MAGA that are just like are unironically like, oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. So some of the chat,
we like Putin.
No pants baby again. Usually it's the gun that legitimizes authority. No. It often is, but not always. That's the point, is that in liberal societies, it is not the gun that legitimizes authority. It's the vote that legitimizes authority. People keep saying, "Oh, elite theory, voting doesn't change anything." That's just copium. You know what that is? That's copium.
Without the consent of the people, they wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah, it's copium because you keep losing votes. That's why you think that votes don't do anything. It's because your ideas aren't popular. That's fundamentally what it is. Let me hold on. Let me pull up more super chats. Let me pull it up. I just like triggering.
He said usually, not always.
Yeah, I just like triggering him though, because he's kind of a goofus. Let's see here. Thanks for all the super chats today, by the way, guys. I appreciate it. What happens if they vote to harm someone, Dev? What happens to the Native Americans, Dev? Yeah, so that wasn't a liberal
It's why
society.
you have a constitution.
Yeah.
That's why you have a constitution guaranteeing basic, like nature-given rights, like.
Yep. So
for the fact that you know.
Here's the thing: that it was not a liberal society that exterminated the Native Americans. I mean, for the most part, it was disease. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
A lot of that was not anyone's fault. It was just how it was. Dev, they control.
I mean, some of it was like the smallpox blankets, but a lot of it wasn't.
I think honestly, I've looked into the smallpox blankets thing, and I think that was accidental. I don't think that was actually a thing.
That could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough though.
Dev, they control the use of force. That is the power a vote cannot enforce. That's honestly ridiculous, though, B. Latvis. Because here's the thing: they control the use of force, yeah, but they don't come in and they're like, point the guns at you and say, you will vote this way. Force is not the ultimate final decider in a liberal society. Voting is. That's the point. Because when you vote on something and then there's a regime change because the next guy won, the people who wield the force are going to be doing something different based on the policies of the new regime. Like that's just that's how democratic societies work. Have you voted your way out of Trudeau yet? No, because there's only elections every so often, and Trudeau's opponents have been worse than Trudeau. You can find certain flaws with the system at certain times based on like candidates or based on whatever, but that doesn't mean therefore voting itself is bad and therefore democracy bad. And it's like, Jesus Christ, man, we lost, therefore the system is bad is like a brain dead take. It's so stupid. That is honestly that's the same take that leftoids gave when Roe v. Wade when Roe v. Wade went the way of the dodo. They're like, the problem is not only that Roe v. Wade was good, it's that the system itself is bad because it didn't give us our result. It's like, well, no, fuck you. You know, like you played the game and lost. Now you're complaining about the rules because you lost. Like, no. $20. Here, you know what? I'm gonna refresh the supers and scroll all the way back to the bottom, and then we're gonna do them all. Give me a second.
All right.
Let's see. People don't take their civil duty to vote seriously. That's how we get Trudeau. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. This guy, I can't pronounce her name, but for $5, he says, I'm getting weird Christian ads after watching this stream. That's funny. $5 from Sheldon Barfield. Make the age of consent a massive convoluted flowchart. As nonsensical as possible, throw in the lunar cycles. It's going to be a Factorio map. Adherent of Lady Columbia, $5. Hey, Dev, I think a lot of people on that are anti-globalists are going to have to contend that many recourses they need are unavailable locally. Yeah, that's a lot of that too. Like, there are so many people who are, you know, they're anti-globalists, right? They're like, well, the rest of the world shouldn't have a say in our affairs. You should close all the close everything down. And they're like, well, shit, all the things we ordered from overseas are not coming in anymore. We can't make this stuff here. Oh, fuck. It's like, well, you guys are idiots, you know? Keep Master Andy for $5. 16 is the global standard, though many regions have additional legislation with regards to the age gap and other age-related issues. Yeah, it seems to be the case too. Yeah. Keep Master Andy again, $5. Is topless protesting more about being offensive or eye-catching? I think offensive. I think
personally, I'm in the eye-catching camp. Like, people like want attention for their protests. I'm sure some of these people just want attention for themselves specifically. But There's also fucking protests where people like piss themselves, which is even like magnitudes more stupider. I personally, I just don't care if people want to take their tops off in a protest. It shouldn't delegitimize what the message itself.
Well, the issue I think is that in a lot of places now, going topless for women is, in the name of gender equality, just becoming normal anyway. Like, or at least legal, not normal, right? So you can do it if you want. But I think it's generally about being offensive because, for example, you never see right-wingers protesting a left-wing thing going topless. What they do is that they hold, like, for example, if they're protesting abortion, they'll hold up signs that show like aborted fetuses, right? Because the idea is to make the other side outraged at what you're saying. So I think because the left views the right as being very traditional and stuck up and conservative, they're going to go show their tits off thinking that that's going to make them angry. So I think that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Marshall Parker, $2. Hey, Deb, have you heard about the child riot cops? No, I haven't. Are there child riot cops now? Dr. Diddler, $2. Horseshoe theory is moral foundation theory for crazies. I mean, I guess so, yeah. I think I know what you mean by that, I think. Adherent of Lady Columbia, $20. I think I may be ending much of my high consumption of political content. I think the YouTube political sphere is on dry now, and I need to learn from the actual books and enjoy life. I will always watch you and people like Styx. Well, thank you very much, Lady Columbia. Thank you for supporting me so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't go away completely, because I'll miss you.
Reading books is not a bad thing, no.
Yep.
Depends on which book you read, but still.
No! Read every book. Read even the worst books. Read Mein Kampf. Seriously. Read it. You should. Unironically, you should.
It's a slog, though. It's such a slog.
But you should read it so you know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
There are people who are like, if you read this book, that means that you're evil. It's like, no. It means that you're searching for the truth. That's what it means, man.
I don't think reading like books by bad people makes you bad automatically.
Yeah. Books are very soy. Yeah, I guess, eh? Oh, yeah, that's right. So No Pants Baby, he's an accelerationist. He wants things to get bad faster so that he can have his ideal revolutionary society. He's on the right wing, though. He's not like a revolutionary leftist. But yeah, honestly, I'm even when I watch, like, sometimes I'll tune into the Lotus Eaters live, right? And their chat seems to be full of fucking cancer sometimes. They're saying shit like, we need like pure authoritarianism now. Liberty is the worst. The source of all of our problems is freedom. And it's like, you guys are fucking cucked. You guys are fucking losers.
Yeah, you would not be saying that if people you dislike have the power.
Speaking of horseshoe theory, hey, that what happened to Academic Agent? And why did he went from a base libertarian into a rabbit hole of, well, here's the thing. I think Academic Agent got radicalized because he got isolated. He got isolated because the left canceled him and he lost his job at the university. That's why he went down the rabbit hole that he did. And to be honest, like, I think, like, I've seen it happen to so many people now. People who get like banned off of mainline tech, people who get isolated from their family and friends, you know, they get radicalized. It seems to be a pretty normal thing, you know? They find a new community that accepts them, and that community is batshit fucking insane, and so they become more supported. So it does make sense that guys like Academic Agent kind of went a little bit nutty, you know? The issue is basically that you need things in moderation. You know, the pure libertarian position is just as damaging as the pure authoritarian position. Same with the pure left and the pure right. You need a mix of them, you know? Just how it is.
Needs a balance. Like, you can't just have straight anarchy, which is stupid.
Yeah. The issue with Adam
You
and
can't
Sitch
have
versus
pure authoritarian, boot stomping, goose stepping, fucking stupid shit. It's just
Yep.
if I've seen people were like playing Wolfenstein and it's just like, oh, this is what we should have had. Oh, fucking idiots.
Yep. The thing about Sitch and Adam versus Academic Agent is that Sitch and Adam, they frankly don't take Academic Agent seriously enough. Now, Academic Agent, I still think is wrong, but I at least take his ideas somewhat seriously. You know, I did pick up some Julius Evola just to try and figure out what he's thinking. Because if you just say Evola's a Nazi, therefore he's bad, that's not gonna like that won't get you anywhere in an actual discussion. You know, like if you decided to go debate Academic Agent and you just go, the guys you read are Nazis, that's a true statement, but it's not an argument though. You need to know why they're bad beyond just calling them a Nazi. Just calling them a Nazi doesn't mean anything because, like Academic Agent already thinks that Julius Evola is correct, right? So saying he's a Nazi, that's just a moral exclamation. It's honestly the same thing as a leftist saying, "Well, I'm offended." Well, who cares if you're offended? What's the argument? Like, what is the philosophy you're actually discussing here? And I think that's where Adam and Sitch kind of fall apart when trying to talk about Academic Agent, is that they dismiss him out of hand, and fair enough because he has some crazy ideas, but they don't ever get in too deep as to why
I don't know
they should
enough
just
about
dismiss him.
Academic Agent. What's his more crazier takes?
Did you watch my 3 Forms of Fascism video?
I have not. I've just been so busy.
You need to watch it, Lilith. Fucking.
I know, but I have to take time out and still. I've recently life has been a lot busier, but still.
So it's basically
I will take time to watch it.
Academic Agent holds a lot of like the post-fascist views that I described in that video.
Oh, so he's. Oof, I see.
Well, here's the thing: post-fascism is a critique of regular fascism, but it's also a continuation of it. It's like fascism refined. You know, it's
fascism too.
It is like a decentralized fascism, as weird as that sounds. But you have to watch the video, figure it out. Hold on, someone in the chat, a known Adam and Sitch simp, Dr. Diddler, says, "Dev, that is deeply unfair to Sitch's position." I don't think it is. Adam and Sitch, they're lovely people. I consider them good friends of mine. I talk to them semi-regularly. They're good guys. However, when it comes to like the deep lore of reactionary politics, of fascist politics, like of the political theory of these people who are very far on the outside, their knowledge of those groups seems to be limited. And so they react with their liberal framework, which is a completely reasonable way to react. It's a completely it's like, look how dumb these guys are. Like we have these liberal precepts and these liberal ideas, and these guys reject all of them, so fuck them. Fair enough. But to truly defeat someone intellectually,
you have to understand your enemies.
Yes. Yeah.
As the old saying goes.
Mm-hmm. Sitch and Adam are excessively dismissive of Academic Agent, but Academic Agent was a total jerk to them. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I think a lot of it is like, they're just like, fuck that guy. We don't got to think about it too much. And it's like, well, even though he was a jerk to them, you do still have to think about it a little bit. That's my only critique of Sitch and Adam. Otherwise, those guys are great, okay? It feels like they might sometimes not give Academic Agent his due. Even though Academic Agent is fundamentally wrong about a lot of things, they still don't give him his due. They don't go through all the minute steps necessary to really disprove what he's saying. You should be a moderator on Sitch and Adam versus some neo-reactionary guy. Here's the thing. I side with Sitch and Adam in the end, though. I will boil down my critique of Sitch and Adam to something very simple. Sitch and Adam are correct, but I don't think that they fully understand why they're correct. Diddler, that's it. I'm tattling. It's okay. I like those guys a lot. Here, send them that clip. All right. That's all. Yeah, no pants baby. Liberalism has failed. You're a fucking moron. Like, God.
Liberal hegemony soon.
Based.
It already is, but
Yeah.
even bigger hegemony once
Hold on. I'm sorry,
once
Dev.
Russia
but
gets kicked back into the hole where they came from.
I think it'll happen. I think Ukraine's probably going to win long term. To be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dev, but Diddler is right. Such a position was why should I talk to him when you refuse to speak to him at all? No, exactly. Yeah. So aspiring devil, yes, that's correct. So if we're not talking politics, we're talking politeness. There is no reason that they should ever give a shit about what Academic Agent has to say because Academic Agent was excessively rude to them. You know, it's like, well,
that's fair. I think.
Yeah,
like,
that's also
if people
fair.
are straight up rude, like they're just unconsolable.
Yeah. So like, this is not a political argument, but it's like if someone's going to be rude to you, why should you bother talking to them? And the answer is you shouldn't. The answer is you just shouldn't. Marshall Parker, $5. There's pics making rounds across the web of Iranian police gearing up tweens in riot gear or conscripting them to help with the protest. Jesus.
Link if you can.
Yeah, link that shit if you got it. No pants baby. Liberalism is the slave of China. Which liberal hegemony you're talking about? China. So here's the thing. You have these critiques of liberalism, and they're fair critiques. But one, there is no other system that is better. And they would have all of these problems and more, and it would be worse.
Same thing
and
with
two,
capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism is just like superior to communism in every way because it actually works.
Yeah. Two, and more importantly, though, is that these are problems that we can solve. All right. I don't think that liberalism means that, like, the West is eternally cucked to China because China makes stuff for them. These are problems we can solve. We can move manufacturing
we can stop
elsewhere.
relying so much on China.
Yeah.
Just like how Germany can stop relying so much on Russian oil.
Dev is riding with Biden. I'm lukewarm on Biden, frankly. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things. I don't necessarily like him too much, but you know what?
Yeah, I'm a similar camp. Like,
after
I gotta give him credit where he's due. Like, he recently decriminalized marijuana use and like pardoned a bunch of federal marijuana offenders, which is an objectively good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And good for him.
I agree with that. Yeah. Man,
fucking Kamala must be fucking pissed though.
Yeah, I've seen that. Jesus. Hold on. What is the problem?
Erased half of her career.
What is the problem to child castration under liberalism? The fact is child castration, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? Here's the thing, all right? Here, Lilith, I'm going to make you angry for a bit, so just give me a second, okay? All of the child trans shit, in my opinion, is very anti-liberal. All right? There's a few niche cases where we can have a discussion, but the vast majority of that shit, wait till you're 18. And everyone who is coming out and saying, no, it's totally cool to do it to a 15-year-old, totally cool to do it to a 16-year-old. No, it's not.
You mean you're talking about surgeries in particular, right?
I am talking about surgeries, and I am talking about access to hormones that come from those terrible, like, Keffel-style DIY HRT bathtubs, rather than...
The bathtub HRT thing is a joke, though. You don't actually brew them in bathtubs.
Actually, this is why you need to see the Destiny Manifesto, because he finds the proof. But, if you're going to be going on hormones under 18, you should be getting a prescription for that shit. It should come from a doctor who legitimizes it, signs off on it, says, yeah, okay, you have dysphoria, fine. All right? Like, there needs to be an accountable process, just like there is with any other pharmacist who gives out drugs, and it turns out he's doing it badly, he loses his job, he loses his license. Should be the same thing for hormones. All right? There needs to be an accountable process. And all surgery should happen over 18 years old. There you go. And so the people who are doing this shit to kids, in my opinion, they're anti-liberal. Your fellow liberals disagree. Well, they're wrong and stupid. Listen, this is dev liberalism, okay? You understand? We are dev liberals here. My specific version of liberalism is the best one. That's how it is.
Dylan, the no true Scotsman, no true liberal.
Yes. Oh God. This is an edgy joke, but it's kind of funny. Dev is aware of the Keffel's troon shine. Oh my God. The home brew. Lilith, have you seriously not seen the manifesto?
Like I said, I've been avoiding it because it's just really boring and uninteresting to me.
Fair enough, but the evidence
is
there.
You can't make me care about Destiny and Keffels. You can't make me. Okay.
I mean, no, fair enough, right? Fair enough.
I refuse.
That's fine. That's
I refuse to get involved. I refuse to care.
So, okay, that's completely fair. So, as somebody who has gone over the entire manifesto myself, and actually no, I'll leave it there. I've gone over the entire manifesto myself. Okay, just know that almost everything that
I have too much important shit in my life.
No, I get it. I get it. I completely get it. I'm just saying.
Spends 3 hours of your life.
Hold on. Give me a second, Jesus. Bullshit. Let me explain it. Okay. Listen, just listen. Okay. Since you don't have time to go over it, and you don't care that much, just take my word for it. All right.
My opinion.
As somebody. No. Let me finish. As somebody who knows what's going on, just take my word for it that she's an awful human being. That's it. That's all you got to do.
My opinion on DIY is that if you truly hate DIY hormones, you should support people being able to you should support medical access, and so people can get the medically approved help that they need and deserve. That's the best way to counter illegal use. Same thing with marijuana.
The issue is though
other drug use. I'm a libertarian, you know that, and I think basically people should be able to do preferably whatever they want with their bodies, and that most drugs should be available over the counter.
We're talking about kids right now, not adults. We agree on adults, all right? If you want to inject meth and fucking destroy yourself as an adult, go ahead. You're stupid to do so, but it's your life. We're talking about children, right? So when it comes to children, there definitely needs to be a process in place such that you get examined by somebody, and if that somebody says, yeah, you're not actually dysphoric, you just want to fit in with your friends, and you want to post, you want to get ready to start posting femboy pics online, you want to be more feminine, you're looking to start an OnlyFans, you turn 18, no, I'm not going to write you a prescription, fuck you. And then that person should not get the hormones. That there is reasonable gatekeeping to be had here.
Fair enough, but I was gatekept when I was a teenager because my doctor just was an idiot and thought my problems stemmed because my parents had fights once in a while, which didn't even cross my mind. It was just oh, this is the reason for your dysphoria. This is the reason you're confused about your gender. And it's just and 15 years later, well, I'm still trans, and I should have gotten the help I needed. So I almost killed myself several times. I almost. And I'm sure some of your assholes and some of the assholes would probably be like, "Ooh, yeah, that would be a good thing. You should kill yourself." And fuck you, first of all.
I don't think I was gonna say it in the chat. But Lilith, clearly there is a middle ground between what you went through and the complete open door policy that people are advocating for right now. There's surely a middle ground between those two positions.
I agree there should be a middle ground. I just think it's people should receive the help medically, and there should be more studies and more access and a better understanding than we currently have. It's better now than it was before, in terms of medical understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not perfect, and there's still some ways to go. And
so
Yeah.
Exhumed Legume says, I'm a libertarian, so I support transing children. You wood chipper now. No. You misunderstand, all right? You misunderstand.
Fuck you.
So,
you
so
try that, I will kill you.
So here's the thing. Jesus Christ, Lilith, can you fucking not say that on my stream? You're gonna get it
I
nuked.
will defend myself.
Listen. So here's the situation, right? The issue is that sometimes dysphoria is a side effect of another problem. You solve the other problem, you solve dysphoria, no more dysphoria. That's fine. Sometimes it's a side effect of puberty. Sometimes it does wear off. There are some people who grew up and like, yeah, I was never actually trans. I was just a gay man. Okay, fine.
For some people, yeah, but for
some people
lots
it doesn't.
People,
for some people it doesn't. So I think it is reasonable for those children for whom after they've been examined and it's like, oh, for this person it's not just social contagion. It's not just some other thing like maybe they're gay, but they actually are trans. They actually do have dysphoria that is persistent.
I don't want to trans anybody. That's the thing. I don't want anybody who isn't trans to transition.
Let me finish my sentence for once.
I know. I'm just saying. This is the transing children shit. It's just I don't want to trans children. I want children and teenagers who are actually trans to not be fucked over and to not commit suicide.
Yes,
and I don't
exactly.
think that's unreasonable. I believe they should receive medical support.
Well, hold on. Because I think that's actually probably a small minority of people who claim that they're trans right now. I think there is a large amount of social contagion happening.
No,
right now.
I think most trans people who are like this, and the fact that and the whole transing children thing is a massive fearmonger. Like that's the same thing with like people who are like, oh, they're gonna turn people gay, and it's the same shit from several decades ago.
I don't agree.
With the labels changed.
I don't agree, and I can prove it this time. So, a lot of what people call trans right now. All right. So as soon like we have since, in my opinion, stupidly brought in various forms of gender nonconformity under the trans label, right? So if you are somebody who would have been considered 20 years ago a tomboy or androgynous or some form of gender nonconformity, you're now trans. That's why non-binaries are trans and GNCs are trans. They're not actually trans, but now that trans is a political term, these people call themselves trans. The issue with that designation of trans is that you have so many women who are like, 19, 20, they're on college campuses, they're learning about all this shit. We saw this in the Peter Boghossian video that we watched, where there was that one girl who was like, I thought I was just a woman until I was informed by my teachers here, and I got educated by the university that I'm actually a non-binary trans person who goes by she, they pronouns because I like to wear pants sometimes. And it's like, you actually did get groomed. You actually got groomed by the school system to call yourself trans, even though you're actually not one. You're not actually trans. And so and at the same time, we also know that there are various body dysmorphic disorders that overwhelmingly affect, we're talking females more than males, right? Especially if they're teenage. So we're talking anorexia, we're talking cutting. These kind of things, they overwhelmingly affect females more than males when they're in their formative years. So I think that there's been a huge spike of females saying I'm trans, and I think a lot of that is actually just social contagion. However, the numbers of males saying I'm trans has remained about steady, and that number's probably more accurate. So I think the spike right now that we're seeing is a lot of just fake bullshit, and it's the fault of women.
Jeez. Just gotta blame women for everything.
Yes. You know what I mean, though? Like you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Is that there's been a political shift that has basically ruined
I don't
transness.
necessarily agree. I think like people are more free to express themselves now because there's a better understanding, and I don't think necessarily like it's fair to just group people in a. If people want to identify a certain way, who the fuck am I to tell them like you can't do that?
I can tell them
like
yes.
I don't feel like it. I don't want to.
I will.
I don't want to. I don't.
That's fine. You don't have to, but I will. I'll say it. Listen, okay. There are
Okay.
people. There are people who say that
that's your prerogative. You can do that.
There are people who say I'm trans and non-binary, and it's like, no, you're fucking not. Those things aren't. Trans means no. Trans means to go from one gender to the other. Non-binary means no gender. No, you can't be both. The definite words don't work like this.
It depends on which definition you're using. Like, there's like the view that trans means anybody who just does not fall into, who does not identify with the gender that they were born with. I don't know if I have no problem with I have no problem with there being a distinction of people who are like medically trans and people who just feel like there's something in between. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with making a distinction there, but they also don't fall into like the binary as much as like regular cis person would.
Well, here's the thing.
If it makes any sense.
I know what you're saying. I just don't agree with it because there have been so many instances, especially when I was younger, of people who clearly were not traditionally masculine or traditionally feminine. They had
Dev. Why? This was supposed to be a talk about the Iranian.
Well,
revolution, and you decide to bring up destiny and.
Hold on. Somebody else brought that up. This is a super chat.
So bored.
This is a super chat. This is a super chat we're talking about. We're doing super chats right. Well, here's the thing.
Everything is just a trans debate and a fucking celeb debate. It's fucking boring. There's more important things going on.
Well, the last few streams didn't bring any of that up.
I'm glad for that. But
let me have my dessert once in a while.
People can't resist. People just gotta have trannies on their mind.
Hey, that's pretty based, actually. Actually, speaking of that, did you actually watch my video? Are trans women actually women? I know Frida watched it, and she agreed with it in the end.
I have not. I've been very busy. Like, as I said, I had
all of my videos
orientations.
All my videos have been abandoned by you.
I just have to get around to it.
Hold on. But Dev, you have yet to respond to Lilith's claim about the rights rhetoric. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are some rightoids who legitimately say it's better if trans people 41% themselves. That's true. I don't think that I've seen anyone like that in this chat. And when I do, I'm just banning those people at this point. I don't fucking care anymore. I'm just like, fuck you guys, get out. But like, those people exist. They're just not here. You know? Wait, I saw someone say that I am a trans non-binary lesbian that uses he, him pronouns. That's kind of ridiculous. Well, here's the thing. Like, we're done with the Iranian stuff. We went through all the links. We're done.
Fair enough.
It's all over. The Iranian conversation's done.
I'm bored of this debate. It's just...
To be fair, you and I have been having this debate.
People are always gonna...
Well,
whatever.
You and I have been having this debate for like a year now, privately though, so it kind of makes sense that you're bored of it.
I guess it's just like I just want people to get the help they need.
I agree.
And not be forcibly because obviously the conversion therapy shit doesn't work. If they are not trans and they don't need to transition, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's no evidence that it works. Yeah.
But people shouldn't be like, oh, what you're actually is this, and we know better than you. Most of the time, you don't.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
and people shouldn't be told like, oh, you can't receive any help, and you're just supposed to watch your body turn against you and morph in a way that's irreversible and in a way that you do not want, and there's nothing you can do about it, because that's what happened to me until I went on self-medication, which I do not regret. It saved my life.
Fine. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
it's right for everybody, but it was certainly right for me.
I'm not saying that do-it-yourself HRT is bad for everyone, but at the same time, there has to be that push and pull where if we're going to legitimize a path, then we have to actually necessarily take those underground paths and delegitimize those. It's like, okay, well, you want to transition? Fine. Go to the doctor, you get your prescription, and off you go. You don't get to fucking boil it up in your bathtub. Like, that's a reasonable thing to say. And there's always going to be people who skirt the law, but that's not an argument against laws, right? DIY HRT will probably always exist, but that's not a reason to suddenly make it legal. I think that's reasonable. And yeah, like when it comes to
I don't think it's illegal. I don't think like
it probably should be.
estrogens a construct is a. I don't think so. I don't think estrogen's like a controlled substance.
It should be.
I think like some testosterone are, but
until you're 18, it should be absolutely. You shouldn't be able to get it online. Like it should be a thing for like it should be prescribed if you're going to have it below 18. Absolutely, has to come from a doctor. I think that's reasonable.
Now we should support the subscription or the prescription method. We should support medical access and not pass laws that deny people like that.
It really depends.
Like Jon
really
Stewart
depends.
did an amazing interview. With,
I thought you didn't want to do this. I thought you didn't want to talk about this, Lilith.
Forget it. It was just,
you didn't want to talk about it.
I don't.
No, but I let you go on for like 5 minutes. You still want to talk about it.
But you were still talking about it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm okay with I can talk about it for the next 3 hours if you want. I'm good to go. I'm all revved up. I'm all devved up.
Yes. The dev has been activated.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, for my TLDR is that if you're below 18, it should be prescribed. Without prescription, wait till you're 18. There you go. That's how it should be. And even if that causes some problems to some people, I think more problems are solved than caused by that view. There's something I wanted to grab, and I forget what it was.
I just think anything that prevents suicide and death is good. If it saves a life, then it's good.
All right. What if it hypothetically came out that like we get more data in the future and we realize that like, redefining the term woman to include trans women is causing a lot of cis women to kill themselves because they now feel invalidated. Would you want to go back in the redefinition? Or what if it came out that like hormones actually caused a lot of the suicidal ideation? Should we make it illegal?
It would be pretty hard to prove, and even then, it's just like, okay, then why don't you just change your mind? If trans women existing causes you to kill yourself, then
you can't say that. You can't. No, you can't say that. You can't
you can. It's just if people like, black people existing causes me to kill yourself. Well,
it's not existing. It's not existing. I didn't say existing. I said it invalidates their own identity because now woman means trans woman.
No, it just means it incorporates it.
Well,
black women being women doesn't mean white women are suddenly not women anymore.
That's true, but there's a difference between races and biological sexes, right? So the argument is that trans women should be women because it makes them feel better to include them. Okay. What if it makes cis women feel worse to have people with penises included as women? To the point that the concept of woman, culturally and socially, morphs to the point that cis women feel like they have no place anymore. Because it's just...
I think those TERFs should get over themselves.
But you see, though? They could say the same thing about you. It's like, you don't have to be a woman. It's just a label. Just get over yourself. It's the same argument.
People but it doesn't involve them. They're still women. Nobody's saying they're not. Nobody's saying you can't identify this way.
Okay,
but they're coming to us and say, no, you cannot identify this way because it hurts my feelings somehow. It's not the same, Dev. It's
well, the argument actually seems to be that you can't identify as woman because woman is not a thing you can identify as. It's not like it's like how I can't identify as being tall. I'm short, right? I just am short.
I can't identify as being biologically female.
Yeah,
I think that's fair, but nobody's saying I am biologically female. I am.
Someone in the chat.
On a social, but
Why must every Tubcaster know about trans issues? The past 3 haven't. This is like a relatively new thing. This is a relatively new thing. The past 3 of them haven't.
There should be less. Like, this one had nothing to do with trans issues, and yet.
Actually, hold on. It did, though, because Iran has the highest rate of trannies in the world.
It's irrelevant to the protests.
You've heard about that, right? How it's like.
I have heard about that. They think because they think homosexuality is evil, so they cure it by just turning the boys into girls.
Yeah, everyone who's gay who is gay
which
gets
is stupid. I disagree with that.
Yeah, like okay, that is like okay. If the right wing was entirely wholly correct about transness and what the trans lobby is doing in the United States, it would look like Iran, where they take every single gay man and turn them into a woman. Because that is what a lot of right-wingers say is happening regarding the whole trans thing in the United States right now. It's not that extreme, but that is happening in Iran, where if you're gay, now you're a woman. That's how it is. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it is happening in Iran. It's undisputable, but I don't think it's happening in the West, where it's just like, I just think people voluntarily identifying as trans or whatever is not the same as the government forcing you to like identify this way because they think gay is a disease that needs to be cured. I think that's fucked up.
So in the chat says, I know Dev agreed with puberty blockers a few years ago when for sure. Yeah. The thing is, I don't agree with puberty blockers on their own anymore. That causes too much damage. You have to go on some kind of HRT at the same time. You can't just delay puberty inevitably like that. That's really bad for you. You can't do that.
There's different studies about it. Like this puberty blockers. Do you know how puberty blockers work?
Yes.
How does it work, Dev?
Okay, give me a second. Do you want me to pull up my research? No, I have to pull up. I have to look up the DM that I had with this one person who's involved with the DIY thing, because she gave me a bunch of information. She also sends me nudes and also pictures of white women with dogs. Because fuck me, I guess.
Hopefully just white women with dogs and not white women and dogs.
It's just white women and dogs. And she's like, look, Dev. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. Give me a moment, okay? I'll be here in just a second. I gotta scroll up. She said
dogs and white women.
Come on. Scrolling. Jesus Christ, how long ago did we have this conversation? She told me all the information. I'm gonna fucking lose it. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna control F it. There we go. Okay. I've got it. I'll open this one up too. And then I'll open this one up too.
Are they talking about anti-androgen or strictly puberty blockers? Because they are quite different. Anti-androgen just blocks testosterone, whereas puberty blockers is something that's different, and it's been used before even on trans kids. It mimics a sex hormone. So as far as I understand, it's not that the person is going completely without sex hormones. They're still receiving something that mimics it.
I'm going to bring in the screen. I'll share it with you if you want to see it. Okay. Here's the information. All right. So this is how the hormones work in a cis person, okay? In a non-trans person. Okay? You've got this person. She spelled all the words wrong. You have the pituitary gland, which produces gonadotropin, then you have gonadotropin, which triggers your sex organ, whether it's testicles or ovaries, which then produces your primary sex hormone, which then goes to the receptor and does the sex hormone things. The primary sex hormone triggers the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus triggers pituitary gland. So, as the primary sex hormone is used up, it tells the hypothalamus to tell the pituitary gland to make gonadotropin, and the gonadotropin goes to your sex organ to make more primary sex hormone. So it goes around in a loop. Okay, and this is how this works. Yes, Tidge. Okay. Now, this is a person who is on blockers. Okay. So basically, yeah, scepter. It's not spelled right. I know. What happens this time is that you have the GnRH analog. This is the puberty blocker, which then replaces the gonadotropin from the pituitary gland, causes the primary sex hormone to no longer produce. So even though the hypothalamus is telling the pituitary gland, you need to produce more primary sex hormone, the pituitary gland says, we have it. It's the GnRH analog, which I think is the gonadotropin, right? So this is where puberty is blocked, because primary sex hormone is not being produced, but the pituitary gland thinks that it doesn't need it, so the sex organ is never actually activated because the GnRH analog doesn't activate it. Okay. So the issue with this is that you go without any primary sex hormone at all, when you should have some. And that's where you get like the osteoporosis and like all the various medical problems that go with having no testosterone or no estrogen, nothing. It's all, you have nothing, none of it. So you're fucked. All right. But if you're on HRT or TRT, then what happens is that you have a supplemented sex hormone that goes into your receptors that replaces the primary sex hormone, where the blocker blocks this one and the supplemented hormone goes into it instead. So you have, if you're a trans woman, rather than producing testosterone, your body now has the estrogen. And so the receptor never really triggers the hypothalamus to make more gonadotropin, because you don't because the loop, the natural loop, is to make your sex organ create more primary sex hormone, right? But if this loop is broken, you need to replace it with something else that creates another sex hormone, or else you're going to have all those medical problems. So
I was under the understanding that the blockers mimic that sex hormone, and the body treats it as that it doesn't need it. Like it's going.
From what I understand,
like
the blockers don't.
So
mimic
far,
the
research
hormone.
So has shown that the negative side effects on bone development and height are minimal, and they don't know the long-term effects. But people who do take puberty blockers eventually do take either they go on HRT or they go off of puberty blockers so that they are not affected.
But that's
we
the
don't.
thing,
We don't. It might be a problem if people go on puberty blockers for many years, though. But I think temporarily halting puberty until people are ready to decide isn't as dangerous as people claim. At least that's what the research shows.
So the research that I've looked into does not say that's the case. It says that there is, in fact, long-term problems if you stay on blockers for more than 6 months. So basically, if you're going to go on blockers, you've got to get on HRT or TRT. You have to, or else you're going to have serious problems, because your body, during the years that puberty is going on, needs a sex hormone. It can be the other one. You'll just develop differently. But it needs a sex hormone to avoid having the bone problems and the height problems and all there's heart. I even think heart problems. But the point is that the blocker mimics the gonadotropin, which is not the sex hormone. It's the thing that causes your sex organ to make the sex hormone. but it doesn't actually cause it to make the sex organ. Like it mimics the gonadotropin, but the gonadotropin doesn't make the sex hormone anymore. Like it's they're basically as soon as she told me about this, and she kind of filled me in on the details of how the loop works in humans, I became like very convinced. Like, okay, you can't go on blockers and then not go on hormones. That you're gonna get fucked up if you do that. So
I could see that being a possibility. Like there is like there's studies showing there's problems with like a lower bone density and delayed like delayed development when it comes to like the height and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But those are usually like long term. If so, I feel like if people are on it for only a few years, or not only like for only a bit until they decide, it might not be a problem. But obviously, the preferred would be if they went on like if they had sex hormones.
If they're actually dysphoric and that dysphoria can't be treated any other way, yes. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I am firm in the position.
Like,
I am now firm.
But I mean, like
well,
sex hormones, as in either through natural puberty or through eventual
Yes.
transitioning.
Yeah. So I am now firm on the position that like that like there are some forms of dysphoria that will pass on their own. There are some forms of dysphoria that are symptoms of other problems, and if you solve those other problems, the dysphoria goes away. And then there are some forms of dysphoria that will stick with you for your entire life. And the only trans people are the ones where the dysphoria sticks with you for your entire life, and that transitioning should be an option on the table, but not the first option. That's how I view it. And I think with all the fucking reading that I've done at this point and all the conversations I've had with like many trans people, I think I'm pretty firm in this conviction now.
I don't think it's an unreasonable position.
That's good. Just remember, Dev is always right. Ha ha ha
Always.
ha ha ha. Hold on.
Always with the trans debate.
Well, it's fun. I think it's fun anyway.
I mean, it can be. But still.
Let's see the supers. Let's see the supers. Lady Columbia, $5. I've watched the. Are you playing a video game?
Huh?
I hear the clacking of your keyboard. The sounds of a gamer.
Just doing slightly gamer stuff because the videos we've already gone through.
We've gone through the Iran stuff. Yeah, there's not much more to talk about. I think Iran is over.
if you want to talk about like more trans issue, there's like
oh, now you want to talk about it suddenly.
I don't know. It's just like while we're at it, I'm here. Freaking may as well. Do you want to go over this interview?
What's the interview?
From Jon Stewart.
I can check it out in a minute. Let me just read the super chats here. Let's see. $5 from adherents to Lady Columbia. I've watched Lotus Eaters over time. They are becoming audience captured bit by bit. Yes, they are. I like Sargon, but he is becoming audience captured, or at least his guys are. I don't know about him. Dr. Diddler, $5. As academic agent's personal physician, it's actually a lust for femboy bussy that drove him mad. Sad but true. R.I.P.
Many have fallen for the bussy.
Yeah.
Very sad, but very true.
Yep. Lady Columbia, $10. Thank you.
To the allure.
China is decaying as we speak. They still have nationwide lockdowns. Investors are drying up, and their demographics are predicted to have only 600 million by 2050. Almost no young, with low birth rates. China's fucked. Seriously, there's going to be like a serious collapse of China, and like.
I have heard that. Like.
Yeah, but now it's actually coming because they're not having any more kids, and they're poised to lose half their population in 30 years. Like, that's way worse than any of us over here in the West.
Russia is actually having a similar problem, too.
Yeah.
Like, they're not having enough kids, and now now they're sending all their young men to be conscripts and to die in a stupid fucking war that a bunch of them probably don't even want.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and those deaths are permanent deaths. They don't get replaced. Have you seen, like, a video where it's like, Russia's gonna collapse in 10 years?
What a faultist?
Let me check.
Might be. Hold on. El Dagusto says the irony of Dev claiming Sargon suffers from an echo chamber. El Dagusto, you and I disagree. I'm not responding to all your chats, but I read them all, dude. You and I heavily disagree, and yet you're here. How can I be in an echo chamber if you're here? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Hold on. I am wrong. €5. Thank you. A lot of people were mad at you for your trans woman video, Dev. Some were saying you were turning into a lefty. I don't see it. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, I am wrong, for the super chats. Let's refresh here. And I think that's...
It's called Death of Russia by it's actually 20 years, his prediction, and it's by Hoser.
Okay.
H0SER.
That sounds like a familiar channel, yeah. I know that What a Fault Hiss is in a few videos like that. Oh yeah, guys, I definitely love arguing with the chat. There are certain things that I will ban you for if it's too ridiculous. Like, for example, there was someone who was like shitting on Keffels way too much when we were talking about Keffels earlier. And it's like, listen, if I'm going to critique Keffels, I don't need my chat filled with people dead naming Keffels. All right. Like that just undermines my critique. So you can go away. So I got rid of that person. But like, aside from that kind of stuff, I don't care if you disagree with me. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't expect me to say things that you agree with all the time, you know? Let's see. Oh, hey, Dave. Hey, y'all, at the park near us, there were Iranian protesters and trucker convoy people on either side of the street. Oh. Yeah, we live like 5 minutes from the city park in our city. And I guess there was protesters going on over there, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, good for them. Solidarity.
Solidarity? Hold on.
Solidarity with the fucking Iranian. This I'm not just saying solidarity as for sake of saying it.
Hold on though. Solidarity is an anti-libertarian. It's an anti-libertarian term though, because solidarity
it just means standing together with.
Yeah, libertarianism is all about being an individual.
Who have a common cause.
Yeah, the individualism of libertarianism though is against that sort of thing.
Libertarians also cooperate, and it's not just like a fuck you. I'm me only. Always, it's.
Hold on. El Dagusto says that's the same logic you can't condemn Sargon for. He's shown he watches lots of content, especially different points of view. At the same time, you surround yourself with more and more people, only people that agree. El Dagusto, Sargon doesn't agree with me. I talk to Sargon every day. Like Arch doesn't agree with me. I talk to him every day. Like, dude, there are many people who don't agree with me.
Boy.
I actually agree with Econoboy on some things. He's way too lefty for me. But there are some things I agree with him on. This is just like Sargon's like definitely further right than me, but I still agree with him on some things too. Like I don't exist in an echo chamber. No. Here's the thing. The only people that I kick out are the people that are rude. That's it. It's not people that agree with me, it's people that are rude. I'll just get rid of them. That's all.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Why should you tolerate people just say "fuck you, Dev"? Fuck you, Dev. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
It's like why? It's just you're not gonna be able to get through them, and they're not gonna be able to get to you because they're not making arguments.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's not quite what I said, Shane, in my video on trans women. It's like kind of there, but kind of not. Like the argument was like. You know, what is a woman? Well, a woman, honestly, at the end of the day, adult human female. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we should be rude to trans people. It doesn't mean that we should exclude them from society. They still have a place at the table, you know. And to be kind and decent people in a civil society, we should be polite to trans people. But there are still some domains where biology should rule out, like sports. You know, trans women in sports. You know, that was a conversation a few months ago. But like. In 99% of cases, you should just be nice to people, man. Like, it's such a... Some people are like, no, they're delusional. I will not participate in their delusion. It's like, well, what does that actually mean? Well, you know, when a rightoid tells you that, I'm like, what does that actually mean? Does that mean that if you see a trans person, you're gonna like run up to them and say, "I know you're a guy"? Like, what good does that do? How does that make like that just makes things worse? Like, what exactly are you doing there? You're just being an asshole, you know? Like, fuck.
Some people being an asshole is all they got, though.
Yeah.
It's their only personality.
Hold on. El Degusto, I am saying fewer and fewer people that disagree with you somehow vanish from your cohabitation sphere. And it's apparent people that have watched for years. Well, you're talking about Scrump, for example, but he turned into an asshole, all right? If you can find me some new right-wing friends, I'll hang out with them. But, like, yes, I expel people who are dicks. If it's overwhelmingly rightoids that are dicks right now...
Yeah. I mean, Arch is a conservative and right-wing, and you still hang out with him. We hung out yesterday. Yep. Not yesterday, day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still... I don't think you're in an echo chamber. If anything.
Hold on. Dev, you asshole. What do you think of J-Rug's mayoral run? I don't know who J-Reg is. And I don't know if he's running for mayor of whatever. Is he a YouTuber?
Yeah, I think he's like the YouTuber who does all these political satires.
Kibbs killed the RP. Yeah. Dev, from their point of view, affirming their delusion will confuse and torment them even more. So not using their preferred pronouns is sort of a drop the act, it's better for you mentality. Here's the thing, though.
You're so virtuous.
Well, hold on. No, well, Vicar's actually in good faith. He describes other people's opinions without holding them, so he does it very well.
No, I mean like I'm just criticizing that mindset. It's just, oh, you're so virtuous, being a dick to people. It's just, oh, I'm actually saving you. It's just fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not convinced of that. I even here. Let's assume that it's a delusion, just to give them the best possible benefit of the doubt. Let's assume that being trans is a delusion, okay? Fine. Like, it's clearly a mental illness, so fine. But how does it actually help to go up to a random trans person and be like, drop the act, it's better for you? Like, what does that do? Will that convince them? I don't think so, you know?
It's like, I know I'm biologically male, it's just, I'm still gonna wear a dress, I'm still gonna take estrogen, still gonna fucking be the way I am. It's just you're not
like I don't think that does anything, you know. So for,
I'm just vibing here. I literally I'm just vibing.
I'm just vibing. Hold on. Infamy or death. So Dev, is that across the board with other issues? You'll go along with things that aren't true just to be polite. Well, here's the thing. Someone's gender almost never has a part of the conversation, right? So hold on. Let's say that you're going to the bus stop, okay? And there is someone who is clearly a trans person at the bus stop. And this person asks you for the time because they don't have their phone on them. And they want to know when the bus is coming. And then you say, okay. And then you give them the time. And then your interaction with them is done. There is no reason in that interaction to add, by the way, I know you're a man. There's no reason to say that. Like, what do you mean by going along with things that aren't true? What does that actually entail? You have to be more specific because rightoids, they're always very general with this. But whenever I press them, they never actually say anything. Like, what does it mean to be... Hold on. People suggested most people you talk to, but you only talk with people that are only lefties. Talk to who's Sean, who's Nuance Bro, and I barely know who the Flashcast is, and I don't know that they open invited me. Listen, my DMs are open. I have an email account. I know who wants to talk to me. I've never seen anything from any of those people. Okay.
Yes.
You're lying for the sake of being polite is probably part of the rightoid idea, but people tell white lies all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's like, listen, if you're...
I don't think it's a lie, though. It's just, there's a gender in...
Well, hold on.
I think there's
just real quick,
very separate thing between gender and sex. I'm not under any illusions that I am a biological woman, that I can bury that can carry a child to term.
Wait,
and
you
it's
can
just
bury a child? I think you can do
no,
that.
I mean, carry. Maybe it was a Freudian slip. Maybe I want to bury old children. It's just dig a mass grave.
I have tried to talk to Mr. Girl, but he ignored me, so oh well. Rip. I will super chat $20 if Dev shows us
Children are our future.
Reaching his toes.
No.
No. Are you gonna throw him into the fire?
Just genocide all children.
Here's the thing about
that's a joke.
Here's the thing about the white lie stuff, right?
Obviously.
Like, listen, if your wife asks you, "Do I look fat in these pants?" Sometimes you're going to say yes, and sometimes you're going to say no. And sometimes that's going to be a lie, and sometimes it's going to be the truth. It depends. So, for example, here, let's say, all right, here's a good example, okay? You are meeting your trans friend at a restaurant, and she arrives early, okay? And she's sitting at the table. And the person at the door is going to escort you to the table and asks you, which table are you sitting at? All right? And you might point at the trans woman sitting in the table and says, bring me over to her. Now, in the rightoid context, that her is technically a lie. It's actually him. But it is more useful to say her, and most people would in that situation because there's no reason to go into this fucking long discussion of what's going on here with this waiter. You're just going to say her and you're just going to go to the table, and that's going to be the end of it. All right? That's how most people would react, and that is a reasonable thing to do. Now, different situation. If you are dating a trans woman and you're like, well, I want to have my own kids someday. Now, suddenly, you have to have a very different conversation about their biological sex and about what that means for your relationship. But
that's
those are two.
Then the biological sex would be relevant.
Yes, exactly.
The thing is, when conservatives say, "Oh, you're not a woman," what they mean is, "You're not a biological woman." And then I would say, "Yeah, I agree. I'm not a biological woman. But that's not the way. I'm under no illusion that I am. But like, gender is a completely separate thing. It's not a completely separate thing.
It's not a completely separate thing, but it is a separate thing. Yes.
But it is a separate thing. There's some relations to it, and I'm not gonna tell people be like, "Oh yeah, I have a fat pussy, and I'm gonna be able to bear so many of your children." Although it would be nice. It would be nice. I wouldn't mind having a fat pussy, but or any pussy. But like, well, not any pussy because I wouldn't want a neo vagina. I'm not gonna get rid of it.
That
so
shit seems fucking insane. Jesus Christ. Egg
like,
hatching's pretty crazy.
You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So like, there are instances in which a person's
like,
biology doesn't matter.
You're not a biological woman. Yeah, I know. I don't care.
Yeah, there are like here's the thing. Every right-wing person in the chat, just listen for a second. Most of the time, a person's biology doesn't matter. In those instances, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Like, okay, what if the hot chick you see at the grocery store?
It matters to my doctor. It matters to the person I'm gonna have sex with or be in a relationship with.
Hold on.
Other than that, who gives a shit?
What if the hot chick you see at the grocery store actually has a dick underneath the skirt? All right? You're never getting with her. And you're never going to talk to her. And you might say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I have to grab this apple from behind you." And that's it. So it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is what, like I said in the video, I said very specifically, even though the biological view of sex is pretty hardline and pretty accurate, most people don't use that to identify other people. So, like, are you really checking out someone else's chromosomes when you see them in the grocery store? Are you really checking out their genitals? I mean, you might be if you're being a creepster. But for the most part, you are receiving social cues. That person might be a biological male, and you might look at them and say, "Oh, that's a woman." And that will be the snap judgment that you make. And that's fine. That's fine.
Just people are too concerned with like what other people have between their pants. Is just
mind your own bussiness.
Yeah, mind your own pussy.
In very serious situations, biological sex does matter. All right, you're going to your doctor, like you said, who you're having sex with, if you're having kids, that it matters then. I think it matters for the trans sports conversation. There are instances in which it matters, but most of the time it doesn't, and most of the time you don't use that. Most of the time you just use looks. That's what you do. That's what everyone does. And in those cases, no, biological sex doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. So going up to somebody who doesn't pass, for example, and saying, you're a man, you are just being rude. You're just being rude. You might as well be nice. Okay, there's Chris Chan in the grocery store. Let's say he's not in jail, okay? Doesn't pass. Are you going to be a dick? Assuming, okay, maybe Chris Chan's a bad example, because Chris Chan... Okay.
Chris Chan is actually a bad person.
We're not going to use Chris Chan. Okay, we'll use someone else, all right? Let's say there's just, a very non-passing, very obviously trans person at the grocery store. You might stare a bit and be like, what the fuck? But you're not going to be rude.
And also
you shouldn't go up to them.
And also Chris Chan might actually be delusional, so...
Yes, yeah. What about objectively...
But like regular person, yeah.
Okay, what about objectively bad trans people like rapists and murderers? Should you respect their pronouns? In my opinion, if you didn't want to, I wouldn't hold it against you, I do think that, like, respect is one of those things that you can lose through very bad actions. In the same vein, if you wanted to shout slurs at, like, a black child rapist or something, I'd be like, yeah, fine, I don't care. Go ahead, I'm very much of the opinion that's like, listen, you can lose that kind of civility through your behavior. But if you haven't lost it yet, then you shouldn't treat them badly. I'm gonna be real. Been watching Dev for years. He's still a lib center like he's always been. Yep, always have been. Never really changed too much. $5 from Charlie. I think more right of center people
How dare you not shift to the far right along with the culture war, Dev? How dare you?
Or the far left, either way.
or the far left. Why are you not woke?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? How dare you? How dare you not conform to your ideological limbs of your chat and viewers? Or not even chat and viewers. There's just some chat and viewers, because there's a lot of people.
There's actually a lot of really chill people in my chat. There's only a few who are like outspoken, but that's okay. I think more right of center people are okay to be chill and use pronouns if the trans in question aren't jerks about it. It's about mutual respect. Exactly. Like if you're not demanding, so you must use my pronouns or I'm going to get you fired and blacklisted and you'll be kicked off everything. Like then it's like, oh, fuck you. You're an asshole. But like if it's mutual respect, I think most people should do that. Most people probably will. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, like if somebody is just gonna be like disrespect just be like, hey, you're a man. I'm just you're an asshole. I don't want anything to do with you, and I'll move on.
Yeah, exactly. Prison is a tough one. All right, prison's a tough one because for prison you can get you see so many stories now of like trans women impregnating female prisoners because they go to the women's prison, and that's no good, obviously. But then I always use this example. All right, imagine Blair White getting locked up in the men's prison. It would be fucking terrible. All right, like it would be horrific what would happen to her if she were locked up in a men's prison. So, I don't.
It'd be pretty inhumane too, since you know what's going to happen to her if that happened.
But at the same time, I mean, you also know what's going to happen if you put a trans woman in a woman's prison, though. Like because
it doesn't mean putting a trans woman in a woman's prison automatically means rape is going to happen. Like rape happens amongst cis women in prisons too, and it's bad when that happens too. All rapes should be prevented.
Of course, but the difference is the possibility of pregnancy. Like that's what makes it different. And in fact, it might even be worse than putting a trans woman in a man's prison, because even though like rape bad, we can all agree on that. Rape should be prevented, but the rapes that happen when a trans woman's in a woman's prison or a trans man is in a man's prison, the rapes that happen there result in pregnancy. And that's like a whole extra dimension that we do not want to fucking deal with. I think Blair would enjoy all the cock. Dude, I think that's you being a coomer. I think that's you noticing that Blair is hot and really hoping desperately that she's a slut. I think that's you, buddy. I think that's you.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty yikesy take. Be like, oh, she would enjoy the rape. No, I don't think she would.
I mean, maybe we need like a prison for trans people. I don't know. Like maybe that's the case. I don't know. But it seems like no option is a good option for that one. Yeah. Hold on. Lilith, you don't understand. I think Dev is a fucking animal who runs in hedonistic shit who wants decay. And he thinks I'm an extremist who wants to erase like 40% of the population. Respect is still there. I don't know if I'm a hedonistic person who wants decay. Also, I don't think you want to erase 40% of the population. I think it might be a bit crazy. Hold on. I identify as a trans woman at work to take a job I'm not qualified for. Am I in the wrong? I don't know about that one, dude. I guess if you got to get ahead, and they're gonna do the whole like diversity hire thing. Transition should be illegal in all cases except for Lilith and Taftaj because they're hot. Oh,
Disagree with the first part, but I thank you for the making me an exception.
listen. Just okay. Here, I'll come out as pure egg hatcher. Okay, trans all the children, turn them all into women. Do it.
You can make that joke as a cis person, but if I made the same joke, like people would be fucking be like, "Oh, this is a groomer."
Yeah, I know.
I feel like
it's kind of
This is an actual case of cis privilege. You get to make that kind of joke. It's just like I can't make jokes about bathtub hormones. And
actually, you probably could make that joke. I think you probably could. But I think the trans the children joke you probably couldn't make. Yeah, I think that's probably true. No, leave the femboys alone. No. The femboys, they're all gone. There's no more of them. Okay, let's see here. $5 from Diddler. I think some of these people are aware and opposed to the ideological war on sex versus gender and cannot express themselves properly regarding you're a man. Yeah. You know, like I watched Taftaj talk to Mr. Girl about the trans thing, right? And she just said like she was talking specifically about the truth of the situation, not how she views herself, not how she identifies, but the truth. And she says, "Yes, I am not a woman." And it was kind of startling for me to hear her say it because she looks very feminine. But the point is that they were having a discussion on what reality is, not how any one person views themselves, right? You know, like what are the qualities that make up a woman, and how does Taftaj not have them? It was that kind of conversation, right? And I still fundamentally think that even in that point of view, just because trans women aren't women in that view, you can still include them. You can still include them. There's no reason to be rude. There's no reason to treat them like shit, you know? Just be nice. That should be... Hey, all of you Christians in the chat, what is the number one rule when Christ was asked? Which of all the rules you have given us is the most important rule? Love thy neighbor. That's the one. And though I don't believe in religion, I do think that Christ's rules overall were pretty based.
Jesus is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do mean that. Like he said some things that are pretty reasonable and progressive, especially during the time.
Yeah.
And then Jesus is cool.
To be honest, I don't care if they're progressive or not. I'm not a progressive. I don't give a fuck about
I don't like. I mean, like progressive by today's standards, obviously. You know, but by their standard, definitely. That's why he was killed.
Maybe.
Or one of the reasons.
Oh yeah.
One of the other reasons he was killed is because he went up against the Roman government.
Yeah.
Which was a pretty based reason to get killed, if anything. Like going up against
back
the
around to
government and getting killed by them.
Yeah. Say Christ is Lord. There are a lot of things that I could say but wouldn't mean it. But if it makes you happy, I can say Christ is Lord.
You're to set the record straight. You're an agnostic, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I was definitely an atheist when I was younger, but as soon as I did more reading and basically cast aside pure reason, because there are so many like the hyper rationalists seem to be just as ridiculous as the religious people. But as soon as I cast aside pure reason and I'm like, oh shit, there actually are things. There are things that I can never understand by virtue of who I am. Then suddenly everything kind of went out the window for me regarding like what the underlying truth of reality is. Like,
not much similar.
So like a great example is like clearly, like, unless I'm going the pure skeptic route, clearly other people exist. And clearly other people have access to knowledge and experiences that I can never have access to. And it's not just a product of their brain. Like, I can't go and like suck up their brain like one of those brain suckers from Starship Troopers and then suddenly know all of their knowledge and experiences. And that's not how it works.
Slurp.
There is a form of knowledge based in experience that other people can't access because they're your experiences and only yours. And they can't be duplicated. They can't be replicated. They can't be transferred. You can transfer some of them through language, but you can't really transfer all of it. There's some stuff that always just stays with you and then it dies with you when you die. So if there is something out there that I can never grasp and yet it still exists, and it's obvious it exists, it's right in front of me and I can't know it, then it seems to be the case that like this very scientific, very rational view of like the world is, there's a circle and the circle is the world. Everything you could possibly know is in the circle. If we just keep learning, we'll learn it all. But there are some things it seems like we can't access in that way. And if that's the case, then I think the door is completely open to all sorts of experiences that are just beyond any one person to know. You want me to play the video?
Fair.
What's the video? Let me see. How long is the video? It's 6 minutes. You want me to play the video? I like how we. Oh yeah, I wanted to actually play Kraut's video as well. We'll play this video first though, okay? Here, I'll bring it up. Why her state banned gender-affirming care for minors. Let's see.
The state of Arkansas step in to override parents, physicians, psychiatrists, endocrinologists who have developed guidelines. Why would you override those guidelines?
Well, I think it's important that all of those physicians, all of those experts, for every single one of them, there's an expert that says we don't need to allow children to be able to take those medications. That there are many instances where...
But that's not true. You it's not for everyone there's one. These are the established...
Well, I don't know that's not true. I don't know that...
Then why would you pass a law then if you don't know that that's true? Wouldn't you?
Well, I know that there are doctors and that we had plenty of people come and testify.
It's weird now that audio's working on your stream.
Who said that we have 98% of the young people who have gender dysphoria that they are able to move past that, and once they have the help that they need, no longer suffer from gender dysphoria. 98% without that medical treatment.
That's an incredibly made-up figure. That doesn't comport with any of the studies or documentation that exists from these medical organizations.
Hold on. So the issue of these two so far is that they're all saying the studies say this, and the other person says the studies say that. It's like, I have this number, I have that number. At this point, it's just the two of them saying that the data is on their side, and then saying the other person is wrong. There's nothing in this
I actually know
itself.
of that study that she's referring to, where
98%
the 90 something absurdly high, like of children who have gender dysphoria, detrans or grow out of it, so to speak. That study includes people who are not trans and people who are just like slightly like gender non-conforming, and it includes like the exact type of people that you're talking about, the tomboys and the I guess the effeminate boys or gay boys.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people who are like gender non-conforming do not stay gender non-conforming all their lives, but it's not the same thing as people with gender dysphoria and people who are medically trans and need transition. And
right. I agree with you.
Yeah, that number is very made up.
So when we had that conversation earlier, when I definitely said, like, the reason that the number of trans people is skyrocketing right now is not because there's just more people with gender dysphoria, but because there is a political effort to bring in all types of gender nonconformity into an umbrella label called trans, and then use that to create a political bloc of people that we can now advocate for in terms of policy. That was correct, because that's what's happening here. You know?
Yes, and I remember saying, I agree with you saying that I don't think all that should be like indistinguishable. Like there's a place for a distinction to be made.
Yeah.
Between people who are just non-binary or gender non-conforming.
And then who are trans.
Between people who are actually trans and
See, this is if you want a good utilitarian argument as to why we shouldn't allow this sort of muddying the waters and making them all trans, it's because now you have this conversation where Jon Stewart is clearly talking about just people with dysphoria. Dysphoria is a medical condition that requires transitioning to treat, as far as we know right now. And meanwhile, what's her name on the other side? She's talking about this political distinction of all of these people who are not trans, but the trans lobby has made them trans, and that's a problem.
And that she's saying, oh, these people grow out of it and that they don't have dysphoria all their life, but that's not who Jon Stewart is talking about here.
Yeah, like it may actually be the case that with this expanded, new, massively inflated trans label, 98% of people do actually grow out of it. But that's because none of them were trans to begin with. It's the last 2% that we got to worry about.
Yeah, like one thing I don't like about this grouping together of transgender, like transsexuals, like people with medical gender dysphoria and people who don't, who are just gender nonconforming or feel this way one day, feel that way another day, or they might not feel the same that way at all a few years from now, is the confusion. It makes everybody confused. And
yes,
people, they're talking that it's still the same thing they're talking about. No, it's like they're talking about using the same label for completely different things.
Yeah. I think for some of them that's deliberate, though. That's like a political move. Not for most of them, but for some of them I think it is. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to embrace being a trans medicalist because, fuck it, it's based.
It's less confusing.
It makes more sense, you know? Makes more sense. Okay.
What medical association are you talking about of these doctors?
Well, we have all of that in our legislative history, and we'll be glad to provide that to you. I don't have the name of that off the top of my head. I know it's something that...
You don't have the name of the organization that you're getting that
off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we have all of that cited in all of our briefs.
You're suggesting that protecting children means overriding the recommendations of the American Medical Association, the American Association of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society.
We don't have enough data. We don't have enough to show that these drugs are effective and that these children are better off, and that we should encourage these.
Or it's not enough for you. Let me try and flip it a different way and see if maybe this can help.
So
in Arkansas,
I will present the right wing view, the right wing reply that if she was debating, she would have said. And basically that those institutions that Jon Stewart mentioned are ideologically captured. And there may be,
but then you could say
some evidence
same about like, but then that's an unprovable, unfalsifiable claim.
Yeah, the issue is that it might also be true. You know, it's like
it might, but you
Yeah.
know, it's a like I said, on a falsifiable claim. You could just say like anything I disagree with, like, oh, they're ideologically captured. That's why they don't
yeah,
agree
that's the
with
problem
me.
with that, right? Is that like they could be ideologically captured, and it could be the case that they actually don't care about the truth, and they're just pursuing a political agenda, and this is just to the detriment of everyone else. But because they have the power and they have the seats in the institution, they can simply do it and then say, you know what? Well, I have the authority because look, I have the degree, and the degree gives me the authority, so I'm going to do this. You know, they can do something like that, or it could be the
Or
case that they're telling the truth, and that they're actually pursuing the science and what is real, and the people who are objecting to them are calling into doubt their legitimacy because they can't disprove them. And it could be either one of those things.
I'm more inclined to believe the latter because, like, them doing that, they would still have to have like studies backing them up, and they do have like a lot. Most studies do suggest like transitioning is beneficial for the mentality of and the mental health of the patient.
Yeah, I think this is a conversation we had like last week actually. Taftage was there. In fact, it was before one of the Lord of the Rings things where Taftage and I were talking about it, and where I think you and I have had this in the past too, where there is evidence that shows that transitioning works, but it's weak evidence. And that's kind of the issue, is that it's weak evidence. It's not strong evidence. But it's weak evidence all pointing in one way, that it works. So it's...
Yes, there needs to be like more huge comprehensive studies, like with many years following up, but it seems to all be pointing one way, so we can have a pretty good idea of what is going on.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dr. Lilith, this is the same guy that agreed white people are all bad. That was the thing that happened like 6 months ago or a year ago.
Who?
And Jon Stewart. Like 6 months ago, there was a video where he basically said that all white people are bad. It's like, wow, dude, you've fallen off.
Yeah, if he said that, that's pretty dumb. But people, I'm sure there's lots of dumb things people do say and don't say.
And yeah, and here's the thing: there is actually
doesn't mean like people are always wrong because they have one bad take.
Well, there's decent reason to have at least some skepticism of the studies and the experts and the doctors and the debunking and all that shit, because Dracus Lothos points out correctly, because I covered this. Decades of Alzheimer's research turned out to be false. That came out like a few weeks ago. 25 years of Alzheimer's research was just made up because two scientists wanted to basically advance their careers. They made shit up. Shit tons of research and money and 25 years of papers were all built upon that research. None of it ever produced any results. Just a big waste of fucking everything. So, yes, institutions can also be corrupted, all right? You cannot simply say, this is obviously, purely, 100% verified true because the doctors have said it. You can't say that. You just can't, all right? You always have to keep your eyes open. So this view of, well, all these societies have said it, surely it's true. Not necessarily. Even when it comes to trans stuff, not necessarily.
It gives a good idea of what is true, and it's like an uphill battle to, argue against it, because now you're arguing against like studies and evidences and the overwhelming medical consensus for something, which, like I said, it could be the case. Like sometimes there is a corruption, and it could be the case. But the old-timers thing is like an outlier. It doesn't mean, we can't trust any medical societies ever, and we can't. There's no value in any medical consensus because there's a possibility. It's just yeah. It's a cope of just saying, it doesn't confirm with me, then they're ideologically captured.
Here's how I would view it personally. Here's what I would do. I would absolutely fund research looking into the alternatives. If I were in charge of anything, which I never will be, but I would fund research into the alternatives, and I wouldn't chastise people for getting into it. So, for example, there was that instance here in Canada where a person either published or wanted to do something that would have... It was research into trans stuff, that the trans lobby didn't like, and they lost their position. And it's like, well, no, we need that research, you know? If it turns out that all of this trans stuff is actually just made up bullshit, and there's facts out there that can support that, and there's data, we should go and get that, because that's what the truth is, you know? You shouldn't stop that just because it's bad for your politics. So we should be funding research that seeks to conclusively debunk every single point of the trans agenda. We should be. Just wait. Wait. Let me finish. Lilith, let me finish. You let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
We should absolutely fund that shit. And the main, and yeah, I only have one sentence.
I don't think any studies should set out with the intention of proving anything. Any study should be set out with the intention of finding the truth. And if your goal is to debunk transness, then then you're biased and ideologically captured. You are the definition of ideologically captured from the beginning.
Because that's what a hypothesis is, right? Is that you say, well, I think that it's X. Now let's go looking for X to see if we find it. And maybe they find X, maybe they find Y, maybe they find nothing, right? So
but that's not the scientific method, though.
Yes, it is.
You don't have like a conclusion and then set out to prove the conclusion.
Wait, yes, you do. Hold on. That's what a hypothesis is.
Hypothesis has like good reasons behind it, like thinking it might be the truth. You don't be like, oh, God is real, so I'm gonna set out to prove God is real, and anything that doesn't is,
Well, I didn't say that. What I'm saying
I'm just using it as an example.
Okay, I'll refine my point then. What I'm saying is, if you have an anti-trans hypothesis, you should investigate it, and you shouldn't lose your position at a university or something for wanting to investigate it. And if you come up with anti-trans conclusions because the evidence actually ends up being anti-trans, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't like be canceled. You shouldn't lose your job. It's ridiculous that that's happening, and it has happened here in Canada. So I think that's ridiculous. If you have an anti-trans hypothesis, surely the trans lobby would want that hypothesis disproven with data. If they're correct, the data would show it, right? So this is what I mean, is that we should be searching all of these.
It depends on how the study is done and how, because you could present studies and perform studies in a very biased way if you set out with that bias. I don't know enough about that particular case. I don't know what their hypothesis is. We're just talking about I know what we know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but the hypothesis does have to have a stated goal.
It's like the people who want to set out to prove the Earth is flat, and it's just like, and they twist all these studies and all these.
Wait a second, though. Hold on. Wait, just wait. I know what you mean about the Earth. Just wait a second, okay? Okay. Yeah. This shit, okay?
There is now no...
Shut up. Okay. Fucking YouTube. All right. Yeah. Flat earther accidentally proves the Earth is round. Yeah, this was like a thing. Can I find it here? Where is it? Where's the video? Yeah. Okay.
Spending 20 grand. That's so much money. For what reason? Why do you have 20 grand to just throw around to prove that the Earth is flat? First off. But secondly, how dumb did this guy feel when he goes, wait, I must have messed up the experiment. Does it again and realizes, oh, all of that research and all these experiments that other actual scientists did that prove the Earth is round were right? Huh, that's weird. I mean, it's not like it's been said hundreds of thousands of times that the Earth isn't flat.
Yeah, so this was a thing. This was a thing where there was a dude who did an experiment in the real world. And the experiment led to him proving that the Earth was round, but he believed the Earth was flat. So sometimes if you perform, even if you have a bad hypothesis, if you perform experiments truthfully, you will discover data that either shows your hypothesis or doesn't show it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you're assuming that they're performing that experiment truthfully and honestly.
Well, sure, right? But then again, that could be the exact same point that anti-trans people make towards all of these institutions that Jon Stewart talks about. Like, you're assuming that these
Well,
are
that's
all
the thing.
actually
I don't
legit.
think there should be any ideological conclusion to be when you're setting out for a study. If doing the studies on a trans thing, you shouldn't set out with the intention of proving, oh, transitioning is good or transitioning is bad. It should be, what does it do, and how effective is it, and how much does it help people? And I think that's the way people should go about doing it. People who are both pro-trans and anti-trans.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But it's just that a hypothesis needs to make some kind of positive statement about the world, because you need to know where to go, right? It's like, well, I don't know anything. I don't have any bias. And it's like, well, then how do you know where to look? Like, you still need something to point you in a direction, right? Anyway, though, let's keep watching this.
Yeah.
Because I do got to go.
It is an interesting
like 20
debate,
minutes.
but hey, I mean, interesting ideas to talk about. But yeah, hey,
drugs are effective, and that these children are better off, and that we should encourage these.
Or it's not enough for you. Let me try and flip it a different way and see if maybe this can help. In Arkansas, if you have pediatric cancer, and obviously we all want to protect children, I think we established that earlier, whose guidelines do you follow for pediatric cancer?
Well, I think if my child, who is 4, if I was faced with that terrible decision, then I would be speaking to my doctor. And if my doctor recommended something that I disagreed with, then I would get a second opinion. And that's what I believe that these parents need to make sure that they're encouraged to get numerous opinions when they're talking about an irreversible step.
You're not
their
letting
child's
them. The state's not saying get another opinion. What they're saying is you can't. What you're actually saying is the opposite.
No, that's actually not at all what the state said. The state simply said that you cannot perform these procedures.
There's the can't.
So parents should get another opinion, that they,
yeah,
and children should want to have another opinion.
But that's not.
Because again, these are 9, 10, 11,
So if your
12-year-olds.
child is suffering from pediatric cancer, and the state comes in and says to you, they recommend chemotherapy, but we're not going to let you do that. You can't. We think you should get a different opinion, and here's the organization we think you should get the opinion from. They're not the mainstream, but they're an organization. So that's who you have to be treated by. Does that sound like something you would accept?
I think that's a very extreme example. That's not at all in line with what we're talking about. We're not saying that at some point, because when you have cancer, it literally is, and particularly pediatric cancer, and having.
Yeah. So I think it's actually prudent if you go to, if something's wrong with your kid and you go to a doctor and the doctor's like, you probably have gender dysphoria, and then the parents want a second opinion, that's fine.
I think that's
reasonable.
fine. People
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Yeah. But
it's a different story
opinions.
when this, yeah.
Yeah. And then if like 3 or 4 doctors are all like, yeah, your kid's trans, dude. Well, then okay. Then I guess you got to transition. But like, yeah, you should gatekeep, but you shouldn't ban it. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a different story when the state comes in and tell people like, oh, I know with this is the accepted medical treatment, but we don't like it, so fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, then you're not getting a second opinion. You're getting the state telling you you can't do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Friends that have lost children to pediatric cancer, having a 4-year-old, I'm sure.
I've got some bad news for you. Parents with children who have gender dysphoria have lost children to suicide and depression.
They absolutely
because it's
have.
acute. And so these mainstream medical organizations have developed guidelines through peer-reviewed data and studies. And through those guidelines, they've improved mental health outcomes. So I'm confused why you follow AMA guidelines and AAAP guidelines for all other health issues in Arkansas, because we checked, but not for this.
It's simply saying, let those young people who are facing gender confusion and dysphoria, allow them to become adults and to make that decision. Allow a child to be a child.
So here's where we have our crossroads. You've made the determination that protecting these children means not giving them access to the guidelines and care that have been designed by medical and mental health professionals for children expressing gender dysphoria. And I'm asking you again, what are your qualifications to step in and say, no, keeping you from that care is protecting you. You've made that determination.
Well, these are irreversible decisions that these children at these young ages are making, or that their
They're
parents
not
are
making
making.
the decision. You're making it sound like a 9-year-old walks into a doctor's office and says, give me some testosterone. And the doctor goes, oh, thank God, because we're wanting to create an army of transgenders because we're crazy. And they go right in like...
Now, we passed a law to protect the children in Arkansas, and I think that's what is important.
Again, the medical community disagrees with you that
Well,
that's
not all of the
protecting
medical
children.
community.
Who doesn't?
We have had experts testify here in Arkansas.
Okay, from what medical organizations?
Well, we have all of those in our briefs, and I apologize that I wasn't prepared to have a Supreme Court argument today in front of you, but we are going to have arguments on this case when the time comes.
You know, it would be fair for her to at least know a couple people. Like, see, here's the
name
thing.
anyone.
She might be correct. She just might be stupid, right? She might actually have like she goes off the interview and her aide is like, you know, we actually have like this big binder full of people, and they're all like, it's Romney's binders full of women all over again. You could have just been like, listen, you actually couldn't, like, you could have named a doctor that you had. You could have named an organization. Like, honestly, she would have looked a lot better if she did. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. Because here's the thing. Maybe I could actually argue what she's trying to say a bit better. Because let me just pull this up, all right? Have you seen the new trans healthcare guidelines controversy?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know enough.
The WPATH Standards of Care version 8 controversy basically removed a bunch of age restrictions on surgery.
I think they were like removing like specific age restrictions and let people like, because every case is different, people should be able to pick the age that's appropriate for them. And well, I don't necessarily agree. I think there should be some age restrictions.
Yes.
It doesn't mean like the whole thing should be thrown out.
No, but I do absolutely think that doing specifically surgeries below 18 is bad. And I do actually think that there's probably some kind of ideological capture there when it comes to removing the age restrictions, because that seems ridiculous. Before they had age restrictions and now they don't. And it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't do surgeries on children. Maybe you should wait until they're 18. I think that's reasonable. You know, this in response, this image was floating around a whole bunch. This one here. So this is a 15-year-old who had a bunch of the muscle from their arm removed to make a fake penis. And this muscle doesn't grow back. And that looks horrendous. You know, someone who's 15 is doing this. That's too much for me.
For something like
that's too much for me.
Invasive as that, it should be like wait till you're 18, definitely.
And I do think that there is at least some level of ideological capture here, where they don't care. They don't care about the people they claim to advocate for. They care about the ideology. I think that's what's happening here. I think there are some people, not all, obviously not all, but there are absolutely some people who are doing some pretty fucked up stuff. And I think in a generation or two, we are going to look back on a lot of the stuff being done to kids right now the same way that we look back on lobotomies, where we should have waited until they were old enough to do it.
Yeah, but she's also coming in and saying you can't do any of it, like not just surgeries, but like any treatments for dysphoria.
Yeah. So I personally don't
I
feel the
definitely think
need to.
I don't think like invasive surgeries should be like available like until you're fully grown, like as an 18.
Mhm.
I don't disagree with that, but I feel like telling kids like, oh, you like she's talking about it being irreversible, like, but so is like going through a puberty that wasn't right for you, that isn't
Yes.
right for you.
Yes. So I personally don't feel
And
the
it's
need
like
to.
the voice
well,
changes for and a bunch of other stuff. Like there was like one transphobe that was like talking about like, oh, how would it be, how horrible it would be for a girl to have her voice masculinized to grow body hair and to have all these changes that are irreversible. But that's the same thing that's happening to trans women. That he just described dysphoria, but for cis people, but for detransitioners. So he can have empathy for gender dysphoria from a detransitioner, but why can't he have one for a person who is medically trans?
And yeah, exactly. Yeah. So personally, I don't feel the need to side with one extremist camp just because the other extremist camp is an extremist. I think I can oppose both of them personally. I think I don't need to deal. I don't need to throw my lot in with people who want to ban everything, and push towards banning transitioning entirely. I think those people are ridiculous. I also don't need to. I also don't feel the need to side with people who want to do all this stuff to children. Nope. Nope. No to all of it. No to all of it. I don't. I can happily be a centrist on this issue and not simply go to one extreme just to fight the enemy. You know, like.
We're all about finding a reasonable middle ground here.
Yeah. Wimquin, $20, thank you. Devin Lilith, should passing be included as a requirement to be able to transition? Like, do you mean like you shouldn't transition if you won't pass? Is that what you're saying? I mean, maybe not as a strict requirement, but it's probably a good idea. You know, like
but also like if without transitioning, how will you pass?
Yeah, there's that. Well, to be fair, I've seen some femboys that would pass if they transitioned without. You know what I mean? Like,
some would, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, not everybody is as lucky, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there should be like a reasonable middle ground, and to come in and say no, you can't, and we're protecting the children, even though all medical associations and the community consensus disagrees with you. Medical community disagrees, and and on the other extreme, there's the cutting arm tissues to form to build a penis, and when you're 15, and I don't think that's okay either.
Yeah. So this is 20 shekels from somebody from Israel. Thank you. Can a boy of 12 or 8 or 6 answer the question, what is a girl? Most adults seem to have issues answering that question. Transing children is wrong. Here's the thing. Like, transing children is wrong, but sometimes children aren't trans.
Yes.
Are trans, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be trans. I want to make it very clear. Nobody should be trans. But it's just as wrong to tell somebody who is trans, no, you cannot. You are actually. Yeah. It's just that you are this or that. It's just when, you know, it's just as wrong to deny that support and leave them to kill themselves. And
Yep.
I don't think it's good when that happens either.
So since we spent half the stream talking about not Iran.
Yeah. Maybe break it up to two different videos. I don't know.
Maybe.
We could do that, actually.
Well, here, you know what we'll do? We'll end it watching this final Iran thing because Kraut made this. It's an amazing video. We're going to watch it.
Okay.
We'll end off on this, guys, and then we got to get out of here because...
And on topic, even though we got derailed to talk about age of consent, and the age of consent thing was my fault. I brought him Matt Walsh for a joke, but I didn't expect it to turn into a fucking discussion.
Matt Walsh, like, here's the thing. A lot of people who are on the extreme right, there's like a nugget of truth in there, but then they always spiral off into some weirdness. And Matt Walsh is no exception. Oh, $5 insensitive. I don't think either of you have remarked on how these institutions have financial incentive to keep practicing this. I will do a video on that someday, because I watched that conference. There was a conference of doctors, okay? And the doctors basically said, yeah, it's totally cool that we keep pushing this on everyone and expand the market because we make a lot of money doing these surgeries. Like, they just openly said it at the conference, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, that's no good. I have the video. I will talk about it someday.
I don't think it's good if that's the incentives, but like on the other hand, the trans medical care accounts for a tiny fraction of what doctors make in terms of money.
All that means that it's a fertile market for growth. Capitalism, baby. Okay. Thanks for these $6 or €6 in for me. Thank you. Let's go. Let's watch the video.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go.
Hello. This video may be narrated by the YouTuber that you know as Kraut, but the script is not written by Kraut. This is written by Lonely Glitch and a group of Iranians. You may have seen me or heard of me if you took part in some of the Q&As or streams or are active in the Discord server. I am an Iranian friend of Kraut, and I asked Kraut permission to use his platform to bring you a message. I would like to ask you for a moment of your time because I have something important to tell you. As you may have heard, there are ongoing nationwide protests in Iran. What sparked these protests was the murder of a 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian woman from the small city Sikez called Mahsa Amini, also known as Sina. On the 16th of September 2022, the Islamic Republic's so-called morality police murdered Mahsa by beating her into a coma for improperly wearing her hijab. Mahsa was visiting the capital city, Tehran, to see her friends and family. That was when a morality patrol van kidnapped her. According to other detainees inside the police van, officers repeatedly beat her head to the side of the van. And based on the CAT scan images confirmed by regime news outlets, she had extreme levels of damage done to her brain tissue, which ultimately took her life and shocked our country. This is our everyday story as Iranians, ever since the existence of the Islamic Republic.
Good videos.
44 years of an Islamo-fascist regime that uses its citizens as mere disposable assets in its dystopian ideological delusion. And it has devastated our country. My country used to be a beautiful one, where there was hope, music, dance, history, and culture. But now,
a lot of the Middle East in the 60s was a lot more
our hopes,
liberal than
our
it is
dreams,
now.
Our reputation, and our family members. Under the rule of Velayat-e-Faqih, the guardianship of the cleric ideology, human rights have been virtually non-existent for the past decades. Corruption, mismanagement, and embezzlement by regime officials, and the absurd amounts of money they spend on funding militias like Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis make our lives harder every day. Meanwhile, the regime continues its oppression of women, intellectuals, religious and sexual minorities, and whoever else they deem as unwanted. They've designed a massive propaganda system to brainwash citizens as early as the first grade to create a society subservient to their ideology. But they've failed. Ever since its existence, we have rejected the propaganda and kept growing as a society independent from the regime. We fought the propaganda and managed to use the internet as our last bastion of freedom to spread awareness. This has not been pleasant to the clerics, as you might have guessed, and now we've had enough, and we are ready for change. Although Iran has never experienced true democracy, the fight for the rule of the people has been an over-century-old struggle for our nation. We have not stayed quiet against the regime's oppression throughout these years. You may have not heard much about our struggle, about how the regime shut down the internet and murdered over 1,500 people in 3 days and in cold blood during the November 2019 protests. We are a society that despises the backward and inhumane laws that its regime enforces on it. We are not extremists. We are not Islamists. We are tired of living life under a totalitarian regime that wants us to eat, speak, dress up, behave, and think the way it desires. A regime with no accountability and no hope for reforms in any capacity. Ever since the death of Masa, every fragment of our society has been shaken. As we enter the second week of nationwide protests and strikes, the regime is using its anti-riot, Iranian Revolutionary Guard, police, plainclothes, secret police, and Basij militias to crack down on protesters. They shoot us in the streets, trying to protect a regime that is no longer legitimate to the eyes of the people. As we are leading the protests by expressing who we are, chanting women, life, freedom, they have cut off access to the internet in an attempt to silence us. But the world has seen who we are this time. The world has seen the bravery of our women, burning their hijabs and cutting their hair as a sign of protest against a system that has desperately tried to subdue them for all these years but has failed to do so. This isn't merely about morality police, as some might frame it to be. Men, women, and children are risking their lives standing against security forces who have no problem shooting them as they chant, "We will fight, we will die, we will take back Iran." What we do is about freedom and justice. It's about our hopes and shaping our future. And it's about taking our country back. And like any revolution, we may succeed or we may fail. But our fight and our struggle continues, and this is where you come in. Now you may be thinking, what can I do? I don't personally live in a country with an accountable political system. I have never had the chance to be represented by anyone in the government, but you do. As we continue our lives in pain, children and relatives of the regime's officials, alongside propagandists and lobbyists, live freely in your democratic countries. They live luxurious lifestyles with the money they get
Saudi
from
royals do
corruption
too.
and embezzlement. They live their lives the same way that people in Iran get prosecuted for doing so. These people are an
they're
elite,
fucking
an
hypocrites.
oligarchy class that lobby and spread propaganda and misinformation while undermining Iranians abroad who try to bring light to these crimes. They live in Canada, the United States, Germany, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, France, and a lot of other Western countries. I humbly ask you, as a citizen of a democracy, to write your representatives in Parliament and ask them to investigate the regime's echo chambers and its corrupt cronies abroad, who we call the Agassides. Ask them to sanction regime officials who murder people in Iran. You might be surprised to know that key people running Iran's morality police or security forces are not even sanctioned in many of the countries you live in and can freely travel there. Particularly if you live in Canada, you can join the Association of Families of Flight PS-752 victims in their struggle for justice and holding Canada's government accountable to include the Iranian Revolutionary Guard in its list of terrorist organizations for shooting down a civilian plane that killed 176 innocent passengers, including a lot of Iranians and the flight crew. You can check their website at www.ps752justice.com. And one last thing. The regime is actively trying to silence us. Our campaign and protests continue. I myself have had an extremely difficult time connecting to the internet and getting past the abysmal level of censorship. We may experience another nationwide internet blackout like in 2019. I could lose my voice and my connection to the rest of the world any moment now. And when the regime cuts the internet, the regime kills. They bank on the world looking the other way to commit atrocities in the dark. Spread the word. Every tweet, every video, every discussion, and every letter counts. Let the world know who we are, what we've been through, and what we are fighting for. Just recently, the hashtag Mahsa Amini has broken the record as one of the most used hashtags on Twitter, with its Persian variant being repeated over 90 million times in a week. Be a part of our family. use your platforms and speak up. Don't let her name be forgotten. As our great Persian poet Nizami Ganjavi once said, there's much hope in despair. The end of the dark night is bright. I look forward to talking to you again in a brighter future.
That's a really important and poignant video.
There we go. There was Coates' video message from Iran.
Yeah. Give it a like, Dev. It's a good one.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Well, yeah, it's just... This really feels like a group of people under the oppression and yoke of a theocratic and authoritarian state that does not care about them and will not care about them and essentially wants them dead and subservient.
Yep.
I don't know if these protests will bring about a overthrowing or a revolution. Unlikely. Given the past. But
not without guns. Not without guns.
But I do hope the world is watching and the world pays attention to what's happening. Like, because so far 86 people have already been killed, probably more. And we already know a lot of people have been killed. And many more have been beaten, hurt, and probably disappeared. And we'll probably never hear their story because these cases are suppressed by every means by the Iranian government.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty fucked. But the issue is that unless the Iranians are willing to, like, the common Iranians are willing to fight for themselves, it's not like the West is going to come riding to save them. I don't think so. No, not with everything else going on. They are going to have to do this themselves, you know?
They will. The best thing we can do is just raise awareness and talk about it and shine a spotlight on the atrocities however we can.
Yep. There's a final $10 before we get out of here from Lady Columbia. The biggest problem of our time since 9/11 is that so much evidence of institutions, particularly U.S. institutions, have become corrupted by blatant politics or self-interested expansion. Yeah, like that is the issue with institutions, yes. But the solution is not to abolish institutions, it is to reform them, in my opinion. Because we still need them, you know? People are saying, get rid of the Fed, no more Fed. It's like, that would be far worse. It would be far worse than what we have now. So, yes. Yeah, here's the thing. Iran's got to handle this themselves. The Iranians, they got to... If they want a revolution, they've got to do their own revolution, because the West cannot help them in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, rest in peace,
that's all of it.
Imani, and as well as everybody that the fucking regime has killed.
Yes. And now let's spend the next 3 hours talking about more trans stuff. Okay? All right, let's go.